This is Dropping. This is Drop and Drop Out, the weekly podcast where a mix of 7 gamers come together for an open and engaging conversation all about video games. Tonight, we unpack the Switch 2 Direct. I am your host this evening, Patrick, and joining me is the entire cast of Drop and Drop Out. It's a new console release, the first console release of the podcast. We got everybody here. Let's go around the horn. Joining us tonight, the homie Jake Twitchin. Jake, how you doing? I'm
on cloud 9 right now. I can't wait to hug you all and argue with you all this evening. And it's the first time. It's the first time getting all 7 of us on air together since I think like those first couple of weeks that we streamed. That would be launched the podcast.
That's right. My cat didn't like my yelling to start the show, so I had to let him out. But I think someone that did like my yelling is my sweet, sweet dumpster boy, Cayman. Darty Cayman, how you doing?
Patrick, let me tell you right now, brother.
I ain't right.
He ain't right, brother. You said save it for the show. I saved it for the show, Patrick.
You did. And I can't wait to get into it. But first, we have other folks to meet. Joining me as well, co-host of Clickerbait, the Last of Us podcast, Kayla. How you doing, Kayla?
I'm doing amazing. I'm so ready to get into this. And I am also feeling sentimental this evening due to having us all here together. Since I believe, like Jake said, I think it was episode 1 since we've all been here together. So I'm hype. I'm ready. Been going since 8 a.m. Brother, let's go.
Let's go, brother. Also joining us, she's abandoned Clickerbait by not wearing the shirt, but she's still here. Jerica Hannah, how you doing, Jerica?
Phenomenal. I'm still mad. I can't play Wind Waker. I mean, I can, but I can't play the version that came out on my Wii on this new console that's coming out. I'm mad about it, but I loved everything else.
Wow.
Let's go. Also joining us, the most handsome boy this side of the Mississippi, Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips. How you doing?
Well, for a second, I didn't know if you were going to go to me or Maury with
I
that.
almost went to Maury for a bit, but I did.
That would have been fantastic. I'm on cloud 9 next to Jake. I think we accidentally touched feet, but we liked it. So.
Whoa. Feet stuff coming to the channel. The number 1 feet fan in Dido, Maury, joining us today. Maury, how you doing?
God, dude. I was waiting for like a GWT thing, and you went number 1 feet fan right here.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so happy.
He's good with toes.
That works. That's good. That was very good,
amazing.
Jordan.
That's fucking brilliant. Good with toes.
Very good.
And
what about? No, that's better. Yeah.
No, I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited that we're all here together. I'm so excited for the first console launch for Dido. I'm so excited to bicker and argue with my closest fucking friends. And all is fair in love and war. I want to say it right now. Things are going to be said on this podcast that must be taken back. Please. Fuck. It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna have a great time. I'm so excited.
Hell yes. I am so excited to get into this. But before we do, just a little drizzle of housekeeping. If you don't already, all I'm going to say for housekeeping, go and follow us on socials. Drop in, drop out pod. If you haven't been on social media today, we cranked out some reaction content. We got stuff on YouTube. We got stuff on TikTok, Instagram, maybe OnlyFans if you can find the link. But go to Drop In, Drop Out Pod everywhere to catch up on our reaction content. But in the meantime, right now, we're here to talk about our full reactions to the entirety of the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, which happened this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. It's something that we've all been waiting for quite some time. We pontificated. We're going to get into some of those predictions that happened last week on the show, see how well we did, how bad we did, et cetera, et cetera. But first, I want to jump right in. Call it the Olympics. We're taking the high dive to talk about some high level thoughts. I'm going to give each of you 60 seconds on the clock, uninterrupted. Give us your overall thoughts, your general high level 10,000 foot view, and give me a grade. What would you grade this Nintendo Direct 2 reveal? We're going to go in the same order that we went to introduce. So I'm going to start with you, Jake Twitchin.
Oh, I love it. I'm taking up all 60 seconds because I want to get ahead of things. And I want to take this time to tell you guys that this 9 out of 10, not to bury the lead here, 9 out of 10 Nintendo Direct is one of the best console launch announcements that has ever existed. The raw list of games that will be available on this console in its first year and a half is quite possibly unmatched. thus far in the video game industry. I think it is absolutely insane. And I know there's going to be a lot of talking, a lot of bickering about price, about different kinds of features that may or may not be available and when they will be available. And I want to remind everybody, Nintendo's not your fucking uncle. All right? They are not here to just make you smile and have a good time. They are a corporation. They are a business that exists to make money and appease their shareholders. They just happen to do it through a very fun medium. And time.
And that's your time. Thank you very much, Jake Twitch. And next we go to the dumpster boy, Cayman Darty. Your 60 seconds starts now.
Yeah, that's actual bullshit. Nintendo is your uncle. He's the creepy fuck that touches you when you don't want him to.
Oh no.
Okay, don't. This hand
no.
that's been feeding us has been feeding us glass. This is an 8. This is an 8, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. Feeling how spicy I am, I might say that. The presentation wasn't bad. Some of these games look like ass. The Nintendo Switch is essentially just a fucking 1.5, and it's called the Super. It's not called the fucking Super Nintendo Switch like it fucking should be. So, that being said, fuck Jake Twitchin, fuck mega corporations, and I rest my case, Judge.
Okay, 20 seconds left on the clock. That's how you do it, folks. Kayla, I go to you, and good on all of us for not interrupting, because there were several points in which we might have should have. But Kayla, you're next. Well, give us 60 seconds starting now.
I just love everything about what just happened here, and I can't wait to hear what everyone else thinks. But I had a great time watching this direct. I think some really cool stuff was shown. I'm a big GameCube fan, so that whole section of the direct was right up my alley. Super Mario Strikers is one of my favorite games of all time. I think what they did to the remake was absolutely horrific, so I'm so excited to play it in its natural form on the Switch too. And I'm hyped for Mario Kart too. I think Mario Kart World, I'm so excited to see what else is next. I would give it a 9 out of 10. And that's because, like, I don't know what is a 10 out of 10. So maybe it is a 10. But right now it's sitting at a 9.
Hashtag what is a 10 out of 10? Jerica, you're up next. 60 seconds on the clock.
Are you timing me? Because I'm really bad with TP.
I am timing you. And
okay,
you
are you going to make a sound?
I will. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm ready. Overall impressions. I think it was a great showing. It got me hyped about a console that I knew I was going to buy, but I wasn't excited to buy. Only because I am the tech queen. I want the best bang for my buck. And I know Nintendo is going to still charge me up the ass for something that I play like 2 or 3 games on. But I don't think it will be the case with this one because of all the third-party games that are coming to it. I can't wait to play Cyberpunk again on handheld and like be able to pick up and go with that. Mario Worlds is great. Mario Kart Worlds is great. I'm looking so forward to that. I would love a Horizon. I almost got it, a Forza Horizons Mario Kart game. And what else? They could shove it with the Wind Waker HD remake. Still not here. That sucks ass. But I can at least play it again.
Okay, great.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I forgot
Jerica.
half of the other stuff I wanted to say.
Sure. Well,
We'll get
good
there.
thing we're going to be here for like 6 hours tonight.
Quick question, if I may. Jerica,
Yeah.
what was your score, Jerica? I didn't hear it.
Oh, that was another important bit I forgot. I'm between a 7 and an 8. I say 7.5.
And that's your time. I'm just kidding. I didn't realize it was on loop. It was on loop. Sorry.
Damn.
Okay. Horrible timed bit. What was your score?
7.5.
7.5. Great. Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips, your time starts now.
I loved it. Like I said, up there on cloud nine with Jakey, touching feet, touching toes. I was impressed with all the techie stuff that they showed off. Obviously, Nintendo not known for leaning into any of that, historically speaking. So I was impressed with what they did show. The games look great. I think that the third-party lineup is just incredibly stacked, and the first party looked great too. Yeah, I do. I share the qualms with a lot of folks as far as like the confusion around some of the pricing for the game specifically, but I do think that the console itself, fair pricing, and I'm just so excited to get hands on it.
Boom. Call me a Switch too. Get your hands.
Oh,
on
and I'll I'd say 9.5.
9.5 out of 10. Okay.
Wow.
DWT Mori, you are up. Your time starts now.
what a pleasure. What an honor to be here. I can't possibly get as angry or riled up as Cayman, but I will try. I think a lot of my complaints at the showcase happened post showcase, when we did start to see some stuff drop in press releases. But what did I feel in the moment? What did I feel watching it? There were some really high points. For starters, Bloodborne 2 got announced today, which is fucking crazy. All right. It doesn't matter what you call it. That's Bloodborne 2. And that automatically puts this as one of my favorite showcases that I've watched. I think that there were some really slow moments. I really wish that we could have maybe gotten past the elongated third party slot of the portion of the segment of the something. I'm stressing out. I'm looking at my time and I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm like, dude, I have 10 seconds to wrap up everything else. It was fine. I'm going to land at like a 7.5. And that's not because I didn't have really high moments. I just thought the lows were a little too low for me. Boom.
Boom. Look at that. He timed himself.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. All right. I will give my 60 seconds and then we'll move on to my next segment. But for me, the time starts now. I thought this was very good. I think, it left some to be desired. I have questions like where's certain titles, where's certain things, but I think ultimately it got me excited about a new Switch. It gave me a couple games that I'm excited to play in Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bananza. Silk Song apparently is coming this year.
Yeah.
Like there were things here, we'll see if that is actually true, but I had some pacing issues, but like ultimately I couldn't be more excited for Nintendo Switch 2. So I think the price makes sense. There's no way it was going to be less than what it is because they never dropped the price of the Switch 1. So it wasn't going to be the same price as the Switch. So like those kinds of things I'm fine with. I'm going to say this is an 8 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Ba-boom.
Nothing less than a 7.
Nothing less than a 7, which I think I'll call that a win, Jordan.
Yeah.
All right.
Why'd you do that to me?
I wanted to connect. Is that a problem?
No, I love it.
Okay, good. You fucking better.
He's jealous of you and Jake touching toes.
Yeah. Okay. I want to take this a little bit further and go around the horn one more time. And, we don't have to, we can interject. We can have conversations here. This isn't
Objection.
people. Yeah. Okay. Sustained. Give me your standout moment from the show. If you could say one thing that you walk away from the Switch 2 reveal as getting your roll buttered or whatever that is for you, what was that moment, Jake?
This is like really I thought about giving you Donkey Kong. I thought about giving you Kirby Air Riders, and it's boring because it's not even technically a new announcement. But oh my god, Mario Kart World is the stuff of dreams for a Mario kid. Like I really, really love the idea of like social aspect Mario Kart, where it kind of has that like Fortnite lobby vibe, for lack of a better term. I think when they really pulled the curtain back and started showing the way that the Nintendo voice chat, that's got a proper name that I can't remember right now,
Game chat.
Game chat, your C button function worked. They did a lot of like showing off that social aspect of people like cruising through that world and meeting up with their friends and posing for pictures and hopping around and whatnot. And I was just thinking about like from a content standpoint, that's going to be such a fun time to roll around with your friends, be like, let's go check out that waterfall and take a picture over there and just mess around. I think it's going to be a very, very strong title. I think there's a reason it's $80.
Yeah, for sure. Cayman, how about you? I'm shocked that you gave this an 8 or an 8.5 with how upset you seem. But so that must mean that there's something here that
it was higher than me. And I
Yeah.
didn't sound nearly as angry.
No, well, to Maury's point, my anger came in post more than anything else. There were some things I wasn't happy about with the showcase. We'll get to that. I would love to say Donkey Kong, but I didn't see any Lanky Kong. If there ain't no Lanky Kong, I don't get stanky for Donkey Kong. Okay.
No Lanky, no deal.
Maybe I'll change my stream name to Danky Kong. You know what I mean, brother?
Danky boy.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. The one thing that no one's going to choose from the stable of hosts, Bravely Default Remaster.
Wow.
I am a fucking fiend for Bravely Default Flying Fairy. It is one of the best JRPGs of all time, and no one fucking played that game outside of Japan, probably.
I always wanted to check it out, but I never did. So I'm the problem, and now I can fix it.
Mm,
It is
mm, mm.
astounding of a game, and the fact that we're getting a remaster, and that remaster looks gorgeous.
Gorgine.
Absolutely for it. I hate the fact that they're charging $80 fucking for that though.
Sure.
That is.
Oh, for that
not.
one? Yeah, I don't think they're charging that for that one.
They're charging like
I
40.
just saw the post. It's listed right now in Best Buy for pre-order for $80.
Yep, that'll do it.
That was
That'll
in-
fucking
in
do it.
Discord.
I saw a
So-
post from Walmart that was like 40 or 50.
Oh.
Well, I'm
Huh.
just saying that the people in
More
our
details to
Discord
follow.
are fucking
get to the
liars.
bottom of it.
then.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
We'll follow up. We'll follow up.
Kayla, what was your standout moment? Other than spending your morning with me and Maury.
Oh, how kind, how kind. That definitely was part of it. It is always fun to like react with your friends and like watch it live, like with people. I think that's always a good time. And just like having discussion around a new console. Like, how often do you get to do this, especially with Nintendo? Not super often, I would say. My standout moments, I have to have two. I have to have two because I don't want to be lame and just say that the fact that I can have a purple GameCube controller with a USB-C port, a GameCube controller with a USB-C port. Come on, man. What the hell? But I'm really excited. I'm really excited about my country accent's coming out. Oh no. Oh no. That is definitely a big highlight for me because I think that it is fun. I also would say that Mario Kart Worlds really tickled my fancy too.
Is it one world or two worlds? Can I get clarity on that?
I don't know.
One world. It's one
One
Is it
world.
one?
What, Mario
Worlds?
Kart?
Is it
Yeah,
world
world.
or worlds?
It's world.
World.
Singular. World.
Singular world.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, I want multiple worlds.
Can you hear
Um,
me?
Yes.
Making
Hi,
sure
Jeremy.
my
Yes. Can you hear me?
I was making sure my
Uh,
mic was working.
Yes. So those two things, I would say. I'm both equally excited about both of them.
Hell
So
yeah.
I'm hoping that it plays well as far as the games that are being ported. But we'll find out. I will find out for
We
you.
love to see it. Jerica, now that we can hear you, what was your standout moment from the Switch 2 Direct?
I think the hardware was actually my most
Oh.
exciting moment, just to be able to finally see like what's under the hood, as they say. I think that's what gets me most excited. And then obviously Mario Kart was my selling moment because the game just looks like straight up out of it's taking what I loved about Diddy Kong Racing as a kid, is just the open worldness of it all, and bringing that to something that's next gen, new and fresh. And just I'm excited, to Jake's point, just being able to drive around there with my girlfriend and like take selfies and just explore anywhere I want in this where are we on Earth? Is Mario on Earth? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
New Donk City might be New York, but we don't know for sure.
New Dank City.
Dank.
Is that it?
Good
But
call.
yeah, definitely Mario Kart World, and just seeing the performance. And I'm excited to see what else gets to come to the Switch. And I guess we'll
Hell
get to what dinged it for me in a
Mm.
little bit.
Yeah, well, that's round 2 is what.
Okay.
did it. We'll get to dingers at round 2.
Fingers round 2. Got it.
Round 1, Cog, what you got? What was your standout moment?
Yeah, real quick, I did. I dug and found an IGN article that links to the Walmart listings, and Flying Fairy is listed for 40. So
Oh fuck
Ah.
shit. I'm so sorry. Fucking Christ. Yes. Fuck, you spent your whole time just to get to that point to prove me wrong, Cog.
He's just giving you
to
the information.
clarify, you
to clarify.
asshole.
Yo,
Yeah,
yo,
that's
yo,
fair.
Gaming, you ready? Alley hoop. Alley hoop.
No, no.
Ah!
It's good to know.
Get
Mute
him.
Wow.
these jokers.
Get
Mute these
'em.
jokers. It's my
Mute
time to
him.
talk. My
That's
time
fair.
to talk.
That is fair. I interrupted. You're right.
No, I kind of side with Jericho as far as the hardware and stuff, like the specs. That's not my selling point necessarily. We talked last week about like, me picking up, Series S, and I don't really care about like the highest of the high end, but to know that it has those capabilities, to know that it is like that crisp of an LCD with like the 1080p and the 120 like that's pretty freaking sweet.
120 is very good.
Yeah.
To get to see my girl in 4K 60 or 1080p 120 with or without HDR, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that was definitely like, again, I was gonna be there day one regardless, but that makes the day one even sweeter.
Hell yeah. John.
Wow. Dude, I don't think I've ever been called John on
John.
camera. This is awesome.
Step into my office, John.
You're doxing
Extended
him,
version.
Patrick.
No,
This is
he
great.
does. He says that he's FYBJ Big Daddy Juan, which
All
is
the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I've said my name's John on stream. We're in the clear. But
Tell
no,
us your last name.
I won't. So my
It's
highlight.
Miyamoto, turns out.
Oh.
Miyamoto is crazy. Okay, I want to open before I get to my highlight of the show with a little like analogy, a little graph of the last
Mm.
however many years. Okay,
Can we get analogous, please?
analogous. Here we are. I want you to think about your favorite game developer of all time, right? And I want you to imagine that they go on a 4-year generational fucking run. All right,
Yeah, yeah.
2023 Armored Core, Fires of Rubicon. Okay, 2024. Shadow of the Erd Tree, the greatest DLC of all time, changed the rules of the Game Awards. 2025, Elden Ring Night Reign, a game that we are imminently waiting for, a multiplayer version of one of the most beloved titles of all time. What do they do to top it off? They don't tell you we're taking a year break, motherfucker. They come to the Nintendo Switch reveal and they show off Bloodborne fucking 2. I'm so fucking excited, brother. I don't even have words. The Duskbloods is going to change my life. It's going to change my existence. I'm going to be sweating in some subway station, pit stains fucking falling down my shirt, holding my Switch 2 in my grubby little hands, trying to parry on time. Geeked, just ecstatic, living my best life. That is, if we don't get tariffed to shit after today and the Switch 2 is $700. But when I tell you that moment of the showcase, I mean, you guys were there with me, Patrick and Kayla, two of my closest compañeros. I lost my fucking shit. That game looks amazing. The fact that it looks that good on Switch 2's hardware is fucking criminal. I saw it and my initial thought was, this has to be cross-platform because this cannot be Switch 2 gameplay. I was wrong.
2026, he said.
Oh, God.
It is. You can see that on socials if you would like to see the full clip.
Bro.
Follow
like,
the social.
What the fuck is that, bro? Like 2026 is so crazy for them to have a 4-year run, for this to be a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, for it to look that good, for it to take so much from Bloodborne, one of my favorite games of all time. That is my highlight, and it's one of the highest highs I've ever had in a showcase of any kind. PlayStation,
Wow.
Xbox, Nintendo.
Dude, you're underselling.
I am.
2022 was Elden Ring. It's a 5-year run.
2022 was Elden Ring? I thought it was 2022. Fuck, that's a
February.
5-year run.
Well,
Yeah,
let's-
it was.
Wow.
He was
What's the
graduating
math
high
here?
school at the time, so we got.
What's the math here? This is
busy
that's
time.
3 years ago. Well, what's this 5 years? Am I missing something? Did I?
No. Well, it was because I only went from. Oh wait, that's no.
This is the
Because I
last
only,
5 years of From Software, I think. It
Yeah.
goes Elden Ring, Armored Core, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Night Reign, and then the 5th year would be
the Duskbloods.
the Duskbloods.
So that's 5. That's a
The 4th
5-year.
That's even better. 4 year. 4 years is better. 2022 to 2026, right?
6.
You count.
No.
It's
You
it's
count the year
inclusive.
that it's
Patrick.
in.
You count the
Year.
year that comes.
Math is hard,
Patrick.
folks. We're
All right,
not here to
Patrick.
be.
Can we?
Patrick,
Can
Can someone?
Hold
Hold on.
Important.
Hold on.
This
Can
is
someone?
important.
Can someone explain math to me?
Dude, he looked at
Can someone
that in the-
explain counting to me?
bro?
What?
He said, well, that's a 4-year run, brother. I can't. No, that was like one of my highest highs. So that's my highlight.
Do we think, before I share my highest high, Maury, do we think that it stays a Switch 2 exclusive?
I think so. I don't think you show it off in that capacity if it's not. And also, just doing the math in my own head, has Bloodborne ever come anywhere else? Like,
Let me do the math in my head, actually.
yeah, please.
It'll be wrong.
But
also, I think that
Souls.
correct me if I'm wrong, Maury, because I'm blanking on the exact wording, but I think that it did say something like the way that they phrased it at the very end for coming to Switch 2, it wasn't like, coming to Switch 2 2026. It said like only on
Exclusively.
Switch 2. Yeah, it said something like a lot more specific than just like that would have implied elsewhere. Elseway? That's
Elseway. Yeah, Elseway, for sure.
Our brains
Yeah,
are
like
cooked,
4 years.
folks.
My standout moment, like obviously Mario Kart World.
Sure.
Of course.
Obviously DK Bananza. But Hades 2. I've been
yeah.
wanting.
Dude, yeah.
I've picked up my Steam Deck so many times since the most recent Hades 2 update, and I've just put it down as I can't do it. I gotta wait for 1.0. And now they said we're gonna get more info later this year. So maybe we don't get 1.0 this year, but it feels like we're gonna get 1.0 this year.
Surely.
And I can't, and like it being on the Switch too, that's where I want to play it. Like I like my Steam Deck. I like my PC, but the Steam or the Switch, with it being the same thickness as the Switch one, with just a bigger screen, it's just like
With
that.
two Cs.
It feels so good. So I'm so excited for Hades 2 on the Switch.
Amen.
I
Amen.
love how all of us had a little bit of a different answer. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we bring diverse opinions on drop in, drop out. Let's go back around the horn one more time before we go through the show and speak to something that maybe ruffled your feathers. Maybe you walked away thinking, I didn't like that, Steve Nintendo. Jake Twitcher, what you got? No, we didn't. I see. We skipped Cayman. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Keep Hollow Knight Silk Song out of my fucking Nintendo Directs. I don't need
Oh God.
this stupid ass game, dude. That game is gonna come out here. I'm gonna read you the review right now.
Oh man.
Hollow Knight Silk Song is a 7.5 out of 10. This was originally DLC. It's just like Hollow Knight. If you like Hollow Knight, there's plenty more to like in Silk Song. This game would have been a lot better if it came out 5 years ago like it was supposed to.
Damn.
So cool, dude.
Exclusive review revealed here on Drop In Drop Out.
Team Cherry, more like
Oh, God.
No.
There you go, folks. Roll tape.
I'm not convinced that is a 2025 game just because they said it on the
Me
Switch Studio.
Very
either,
casual.
dude. It's fucking
But
casual.
Patrick, they showed 4 more seconds of footage.
Oh, no, you got me there. You got me dead to rights.
Yeah.
got me there.
Look at the facts, bro.
I will. I'm gonna look at
Fact
those eyes of
checkers?
yours. Cayman, how about you?
God, you really don't want me to go, do you?
I want
Okay,
you to
I'm
go.
gonna piss. This is where I piss everyone off. Borderlands 4 was the best first-person shooter, best looking first-person shooter that was shown today.
Oh my god.
Kayla, you can go.
Wait, was that really all you had to say? Do you need any more time?
I really don't feel like I have anything else to say. Anything else I say, I might get drugged through the
Follow-up
streets.
question, if I may.
Yeah,
Patrick from the New York Nintendo Times. This is actually a question for Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips. Just because I'm not a Metroid Prime guy, do we consider Metroid Prime a first-person shooter? Genuine question.
A lot of times it's classified more. Again, this is a genuine answer, not just being an idiot. A lot of times it's more like first-person action adventure because it's like, yes, there is obviously shooting because it's a Metroid game, but there's a lot of platforming puzzles and stuff as well.
Sure.
And like, environmental storytelling and all that stuff. So I mean, like, yeah, you could call it a first-person shooter and you wouldn't be wrong. And you could call it the first-person action adventure and you wouldn't be wrong either. It's one of those kind of weird
Sure.
We don't genre gatekeep here,
Yeah.
or maybe we do.
Well, some people try to on TikTok, but we don't allow that to.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just want to say this the whole time from the moment came and said Borderlands 4, I watched Jordan stare off into the camera. It's so fucking clippable. And I watched him dissociate in real time. Like, no thought. He went,
Hello, darkness, my friend.
yes.
I feel like it's like really necessary for me to explain that, like, one, I've just been in a grumpy mood all day.
Aw.
Please take nothing personal. And I feel like each one of you is going to get attacked tonight.
Good.
Fuck.
I'm so sorry. This is not just, and I feel like we started with it being harsh on Jordan. I apologize, Jordan. I will get to everyone. Everyone will get their due.
No.
I wanna be
one of the
spanked.
dudes. One of those dudes being.
No.
want to be spanked.
Well, guess what? It's coming soon. Because Hollow Knight Silk Song is what's going to pave my way to victory.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
will.
Jake, you know what? I'm coming for you too, boss. I'll come over there and spank that sweet, sweet bottom of yours.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Is it as bald as his head? I want to know.
Oh!
Okay, my turn. My
Do you
turn.
think each?
My
Hold on.
Please
Caleb,
talk,
one
Caleb, please
second. I
talk.
have to know. Do you think each one of Jake's butt cheeks has like a beard too?
At the bottom, yeah.
Like, I'll get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
And my fucking
Never-
kneecaps.
Never
Yeah.
have all
Okay,
seven
I'm
of us
sorry,
on here again.
Kayla. You-
Definitely. is
Sorry,
nuts.
bring us back.
All right, Kayla,
please
you're
bring
up.
us back.
I was trying the chat. Oh my god. Thanks, Dan. Good show for the bits.
Whoa, Bits. We got a sub I saw too from Game Over Cholo.
Yeah, Game Over Trilla and Ryan Selvey.
Oh, we got it one. Oh, Ryan Selby.
And a
oh,
gifted from Ryan as well.
How
Little
kind.
Ryan train. No big deal. No big
my
They
deal.
love
sweet
us.
Ryan.
They love us. They
We
love
also
us.
just got one from Dahlia Heart Productions.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
yeah,
from
yeah,
Ryan.
yeah.
That was from Ryan. Yeah, never mind.
Shout out. I don't know. The only thing that I can really think of, because I was just generally positive about the whole thing, to be honest with you. I will say with the game share, it's at like 3 FPS, the game share. When you're
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it looks
literally, it looks so bad. I like the concept, and I think we can I think it'll evolve, and I am excited for what is to come, like as far as the Nintendo camera. I like all of that, but I do think like it has a lot of growing to do. That was something that I was like visibly like, oh, like when it came on the screen, I was surprised that they showed it. But to Patrick's point, I think it was Patrick that said it while we were live reacting. At least they were honest about it and didn't try to like
Yeah.
buff it up or something. Like they're giving you the real. But yeah, I think that would be my one eh.
Sure. Okay.
It
Jericho,
was
how about
actually
you?
it was 3 FPS plus or minus 3. Like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it,
Yeah,
it may have just stopped entirely. Yeah.
The room
Yeah.
for error. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of those points, like trying not to have my Jericho goggles on because they are on specifically for Wind Waker, but I'll get to that in a second. But
You
just like
girl.
from a new hardware launch, I think they nailed most things except 30% of the showcase, and that's why I just can't give it a better score than what it had. I almost feel like I was being too harsh on it, but I feel like a lot of the chat features shouldn't have been here. I don't think that should have been in a hardware
Yep.
announcement. I don't think there was just a lot of fluff at points that just lost the momentum for it. And I really wanted this to be balls to the wall, just Nintendoing out the whole time versus 70% of the time. And I think, starting with Mario Kart was a good one. Indie and Donkey Kong was cool, but I think I know it sounds like messed up, and I maybe the Bloodborne 2 thing that Mario is really excited about. That was a joke, that whatever, but it has got blood in the name. I forget that. Dust Blood.
Yep.
Okay,
The dust
yeah,
blood.
got it.
Yeah, you
The
got
dust-
it.
the
You
dust
got
Okay,
it.
cool. Might have been that other big moment, but I don't know. I just feel like there needed to be like one more announcement of some sort for this thing. And just the fact that I know I'm just nitpicking it, but the whole free exploring the Switch is something you have to pay for just made me want to throw up. That made me so mad. It can't come with the console. Come on, you shot yourself in the foot there with that one. Like, why would
Yeah.
you do that?
They
Blow
stayed
my
doing
socks
that.
off. Don't do that. That's why I can't give it a higher score, because there's just those moments. I'm like, y'all, come on.
Yeah.
Show me Wind Waker remake. That would have done it. That would have put me at a 9.5 even.
Sure.
But instead, we're getting all these GameCube games, which is great. But I'm mad. I still have to buy a Wii U to play Wind Waker HD,
Yeah.
Right.
or just like.
I
messed up.
can't fucking believe that the Switch tour game is you have to fucking buy it.
It's
I think that is
unfucking real.
that
That's
is
the
such
worst.
a
That was the worst
crock
part
of
of the whole
fucking shit.
presentation. That
That's
really
insane.
grinded my gears. It just made me so mad. I'm like, y'all,
Unless that game is fucking $9.99, it's fucking horseshit.
I'm not
Yeah,
buying it.
it's-
I don't care if it's
yeah.
$2. I don't care if it's $2. I'm not buying
literally,
it.
I sat there and I was like, no one's gonna buy that game. Well, I'll buy it to stream it to you, you stupid chat. Like,
I Score Weekly also is going to be buying it in our
shit, I
chat.
have to buy that
Absolutely.
stupid fucking game.
But my last thing before we move on, though, is just like, man, I really wanted more big games from other places. Like, I thought, the rumor is all these Xbox games are coming to this thing, and I know they will probably at some point. So is that something for an Xbox conference? Maybe so. I thought it'd been really cool to see something wild we've never had on a Nintendo console before to be
Sure.
announced here, which we got a little bit. But I'm ready.
Remakes of, okay, never mind.
I know it's cool. I don't know, just like something less like Square Enix is, I don't know. I could see that more likely than Halo. Like I was wanting the big
Yeah.
moment where we finally
gotcha.
get that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's
I think
coming.
Jake put it in your head last week that it was going to happen, and you got your
yeah.
hopes up.
Possibly.
I manipulated
Oh.
you.
Yes.
It's just been a
Typical
rumor
Jake.
for a long time, I'm like, and I
That's it.
wanted that. I wanted
Yeah.
Nintendo to also just slap me in the face with their balls.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
they did. They
I was
almost
about to
did.
go like this, and I was like, balls, and I'm not going to, no.
I don't know if
Picture
that's
this,
a good
picture
thing, or I was
this.
gonna mean it in a good thing. Like, oh yeah,
Oh.
Nintendo balls in my face. Oh my god. That's how I
It's
wanted to
like
be, and I was almost there.
Mm.
I'm gonna
June
buy one. I'm
15th,
sold.
there's like a Xbox Summer Game Fest conference, and they show Master Chief Collection, and they go coming to Nintendo Switch 2
Oh,
now, like a week after
Mm.
the console comes out.
Crazy.
somebody
Could
clip
be.
this for later.
Could be.
Shakes your
Ooh,
comments.
child.
Cog, how about you? What didn't work for you?
Yeah, I touched on it a moment ago, but the pricing things, for me specifically, it was more that it wasn't really clear what the upgrade paths were going to look like for the Nintendo Switch 2 editions. As with a lot of these things, they did give a little bit more info in those press releases, but not as much. Even then, it wasn't really enough.
Sure.
Like, we did find out that there's going to be several games. We go this later when we go through the bit by bit, but like there's several games that are getting free little minor upgrades. There's Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are going to be free Nintendo Switch 2 editions for subscribers to Nintendo Switch Online. But for all the other ones, all we know is that buying it outright from the store is going to be $80, but we don't know what the upgrade path is for people who already own it. And that's a little frustrating. Like, we already know it's Nintendo and we're going to need to shell a little bit extra money for it. So like, just tell us, just rip the Band-Aid off. Just let us know what it is. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, it was such a mess. All the pricing stuff is such a fucking mess.
And I do know, I told this to Patrick earlier because somebody did some math. Patrick Strong Suit over on Threads, and they did the little conversions of the yen to the US dollar, and like the equivalent to the pricing in Japan is like $333 versus $450 for us. And so like it's very obvious that there's a lot of like pricing weirdness, whether it's the tariffs or just the parts being expensive. I don't know what it is exactly, but it makes a lot more sense now knowing that of why they didn't put any prices in anything for the presentation itself, because it's going to vary so wildly by region.
Right.
Because usually historically they say something. But
Yeah.
I saw a really interesting thing about that specifically, and it being it's a region locked Switch 2 for Japan, in Japan only, or Japanese only. So you can't. There's no other language options on that Switch. I've also read that is an anti scalping measure, because apparently,
okay.
Consider this: the Japanese don't scalp. What a concept. Wow. So that's like their way of saying, okay, this market is safe, so let's put it out at a reasonable price, which. Unclear if that's like the only reason, but I thought that was very interesting.
Indeed.
Because it's a big discrepancy. It's like $130 of a difference.
Crazy.
If you live in Japan. Maury, how about you?
Yeah. So my initial thought is to talk about the tremendous, to me, and look, here's the deal. Like, this is so subjective, but going into today, I think that a quote that I said to Patrick was, nobody's going home empty-handed. And I feel like a lot of people went home empty-handed. I feel like there was a lot of games that I thought maybe I would see. I know, I saw Jake just like fucking, dude, he just fucking twitched at that shit. Jake twitching. No, like, dude, 3D Mario, like, what the fuck? That's a slam dunk. Like, that's such, like, that needs to be there. Like, that's such an easy layup. But like, sitting here and talking about the things from the first party that I would have liked to have seen and didn't see, everyone could do that shit. We'd be here all fucking year, all fucking day. So instead, I want to focus on the overwhelming like amount of third-party titles and like how long that segment was. It felt like it went on for fucking ever, dude. And I'm gonna say something my father often says is, I see better than I hear. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. When you're just hitting me over the head over and over and over again with games that I've seen now for 4 or 5 years, and you're showing, look, it runs on the Switch too. I see better than I hear. All Nintendo had to do, all they had to do was show off that Duskbloods trailer and say, boom, Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive. And I would have automatically known what you were up to. I would have automatically known what you were doing. Oh shit, a From Software game runs on this fucking console that well? Oh, everything's going to run perfectly. I see better than I hear. I didn't need to see Yakuza 0 for the 18th time in my life. You know what I mean? Like that felt like a wasted amount of time during this showcase. So for me, I wish that they would have really leaned into what they did have, right? Like Duskbloods, something new, something exciting, and shown that off even more, rather than spend all this time showing me third-party games that I've seen a million times to prove to me that you're no longer the little brother. I know you're not the little brother when I see the Duskbloods trailer. I don't need anything else from you. Personally, that's a personal bit for me. That's my biggest complaint during Showcase. There are complaints after that I'm sure we're going to get to. Oh, you're muted.
Thank you. I agree with a lot of what you just said. Especially, yeah, I feel like there was some when I mentioned some pacing issues, a lot of what I was referring to was the third party section and like the Nintendo partner section where it's like you're already doing a sizzle reel. In my opinion, a lot of these can be part of a sizzle reel. Now, then there's the conversation of like with Game Awards type stuff. Are there marketing deals? Is there money being exchanged for the time for fucking Randy Pitchford to say Borderlands 4 is coming to Switch 2?
I was like, did he have to be on the stage again or be
I
in the
mean,
video? Why is this? He's always got to be in it.
Anytime a game he's working on has a chance to be shown, it's going to be
wild.
his face. Yeah.
If there's a medieval times, you can rest assured that
Correct.
Randy Pitchford.
But yeah, there's like things like we spent in the grand scheme a considerable amount of time on things like Split Fiction, on Hogwarts Legacy, on EAFC, like these things. It's like, sure, it's good that these things are coming, but I think they could have, let's say it was 20 minutes of the presentation, it could have been 10. And I think that would have helped. And then I echo a lot of what you all have already said, so I won't. I think the one other thing that I don't think has been touched on all that much is there. I mean, more you mentioned it a little bit with 3D Mario, but I can't help but wonder like where are some of these other big franchises, and like getting some clarity on some of that would have gone a long way for me, and like we got way out of kind of touch, as we so often do with Nintendo, of thinking there's going to be Xbox, thinking there's going to be all these things. Like whether it's Halo, whether it's getting Mario and Kart and Animal Crossing and Smash and Kirby and like that was like we were never going to get all of those things. So the fact that we got some, I think, is good, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, even if it's just a logo.
Sure.
One thing just occurred to me though too, and y'all might have all thought this already, but I guess most of the first party games that we saw are all coming out within the next 2 to 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a whole rest of the year they haven't announced for. So maybe there's more to come, but they didn't want to announce those
and
things
upcoming directs too.
Because it is unheard of to have not have a big Nintendo title in around Christmas time. So
yeah,
well, pre-holiday.
The two games that we don't have dates for is ZA and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which I think are
rare. Oh dang! I didn't realize we didn't get dates for Metroid at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kirby. That's
I
right.
missed that. Yeah.
2025 for Kirby Air Riders.
2025 though. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean that might be the rest of the year. Shit. Potentially, we'll see.
I mean,
which would be a strong year.
Which would be a strong year. Yeah, it's a lot fucking stronger than PlayStation. That's
true. Very true.
Okay. Any final gripes that we had before we just go through the direct bit by bit?
I'm Reggie.
I do think that I don't disagree necessarily with how much time they spent on the third party, but this is so fresh in my mind because we just talked about it last week on Drop In, Drop Out, that the third party support for the Switch 1 was so abysmal.
Yeah.
But for not only the people who are really into gaming and gaming culture, but also the shareholders, they needed to make it abundantly fucking clear that they have the third party support. Like there's zero question.
Sure.
They're showing y'all that, like Split Fiction coming, that was a surprise to me. Like that's pretty big deal. That's a, technically powerful game, and it just came out, all those kind of things. And to like, just so for them to emphasize all of those kind of things, bringing in some that were just, franchises that are big and maybe couldn't run very well on the Switch. And then ones that are kind of known to be powerhouses like Cyberpunk, like FF7 Remake or Integrate or whatever random word they're throwing after those games these days. Bringing those in there just makes it abundantly clear. So yes, for the Moris of the world, just saying, hey, Miyazaki, FromSoft, boom, next year, you know what that means.
Yeah.
But the other Johns that Miyamoto has fathered over the years, they don't know what it means to just see From Software and, Duskbloods. They don't know what that means. But for everybody else, they need to see like, oh, I recognize that thing because they talked about it and they had it won Game of the Year, all that stuff.
I think there's a balance. I think there's a balance. I agree with you.
There's a balance that it probably did not actually achieve. Yeah. But I just think that was probably why they may have overcorrected in that direction because of just how piss poor the third party was for Switch 1.
Piss poor.
When will they release the list of Miyamoto's Johns?
Dude.
to prostitution.
Hashtag release.
I'm
the
gonna
list.
Google Miyamoto's John real quick. Safe search.
Nah.
Okay, let's get into it. Going bit by bit, and the way that we're gonna do this for my Dido homies, jump in if there's something you want to talk about. If I don't hear from you, I'm gonna keep on rolling.
Jump
They
in,
open.
jump out.
That's not what we call our show.
Hey.
Don't ever fucking say that again.
Whoa.
Hot drop. Hot
We
drop.
open the show with Mario Kart World, which is going to retail for $80. It's coming on April 17th. We're going to be getting a Mario Kart World Direct, a couple of features of the game. It's going to feature grinding, wall jumping, as well as multiple different outfits for each character.
Oh, I'm so
Players
excited.
will be able
Flair.
to drive so much flair. They're going to be able to drive virtually everywhere in the game, and 24 drivers will feature in each race. And in freeform, it's possible to go off the racetrack and drive in any direction you wish, explore areas that pique your interest, and take some photos at scenic spots with a group of friends. Mario Kart World races on Nintendo Switch 2 on June 5th. We went around the horn earlier. This was a highlight for most of us. Opening the show, I thought, was so strong with Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
A lot of really good shit here.
Did I? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Jeremy.
Did I admit? I actually got so excited because there's just like visual overload with this trailer. And I know there's always been gliding. There's not flying in here. It is still just gliding. I got excited because I feel like I saw more planes.
Sure.
No,
I
there's
think
planes.
it's flying.
I think it's flying.
I think
Yeah.
it's flying.
If I
Yeah.
Flying in the key art, you see like actual planes, not just like gliders.
Oh, shut up!
Yeah.
Because I was not 100% on that, and I rewatched the trailer, and I was like, it might just be gliding. So y'all have just me. I
right
might
there.
be at 8 out
Right
of
there,
10
yeah.
because of that little cell.
And I love all the new little power-ups that you see, like the burger. Like, what is that? What does the burger do? Like, I'm so intrigued, and I love all the new like mechanics of moving. Like Patrick and I, we all saw it this morning. Like the wall running. I think that's so fun. Like, I can't wait. And the 24 stack, I feel like is going to be really fun.
Oh,
yeah, I'm super interested to see how that goes. What's up?
I can't wait to be number 24 every race.
Where's Nude Mario?
Yeah.
Where is Nude Mario is the question of the day.
We broke
Under
that
his
story
clothes.
years ago.
Mhm.
They showed him as a farmer, I think.
Mhm.
They showed him as a cow, probably.
There's the
Mhm.
comic,
lot
and
of-
he's nude in one of the
I'm just
comics.
saying,
I think.
we broke the news, Patrick, that he would be nude in this, and they
Oh.
did not show us the nude Mario.
We
Oh,
did.
I do remember that. Oh, also the Nerdlies did also mention in the chat, big win for Moo Farm cow knowers being
Love
playable
Moo Farm.
characters.
Oh,
There are a ton of extra playable characters in here, and they're so interesting because it's all of like the little guys throughout the years of
Yeah.
Mario Kart. Like you can play as like the little penguins that you always see
Yeah.
around. The Moo Farms cow is really cool. That you can play as a
Yeah.
Goomba, which is rad. Like I
Wow.
think that's going to be a really cool thing to have. Just such a weird cast of characters, and I don't know. I think this game is going to be so special.
It's gonna be
I
so
think
good. I mean, if it's 24 per race, you got to have at least double that as playable characters.
That's true. That's a good
I
point.
had to say before I forget. So I was scrolling through trying to do some last minute prep for the podcast when the kid exclamation point kids were still awake, and I was like, oh yeah, look guys, it's like a Mario driving game, and my son looks over and he goes like, Goombas can't drive, they don't have arms. So
Wow.
amazing.
Mic drop.
Patrick, if you have a chance, not a big deal. If you can pull up the key art for Mario Kart World, you can see like on the left hand side, Bowser Jr. and Wario both flying in
Shut
planes,
up.
not
Okay.
gliders. They're planes.
Jerick has bought
Well,
it.
yeah, in the trailer, it looks like you go up a ramp, and then instead of it being the parachute, wings pop out of the cart. So it might not be fully flying like Diddy Kong Racing. We need more information.
More information to come. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if it would have been a big part of it, it would have been shown more. But maybe they're still holding it
The
close to the
plane.
chest. They know the people want the ditties out here. I probably shouldn't say that.
Oh, no.
We
Maybe
want
we
to fly.
scrub
is
that.
a new
Scrub
power
that.
up in this game.
I don't know.
There were
I did that.
there were several moments. The one I think of specifically in the trailer when you're going underneath a dinosaur is like, this is so fucking Diddy Kong Racing coded. I don't, and like with it being world, you can go around the entire area. I could see the plane being part of that as like a way to get around the world faster. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Serious Shard reminded us there's still a whole direct for this game, so like
Right.
we're gonna get so
Yes.
much more information. And Jerica, just be ready. Be ready.
On the
Who knows?
17th.
Ready to fly.
Yeah,
I
17.
really think that we're going to see a lot more from this game. And this is a sentiment that I'm probably going to share a few times throughout this, like especially when we start talking about the price of this console and some of its accessories and stuff. But the thing about this Mario Kart is that it is a $90 retail price if you go to the store and buy it in the United States. If you buy it digitally, you get it for $80, or you can get it packed in with your console for the $500 version, which is $50 additional on top of that. There's different ways to obtain it, but I think the thing that I want to emphasize here is that Mario Kart World is such a safe bet as like a launch video game to purchase as a consumer, because we have seen the staying power of like a current generational Mario game that honestly stays throughout multiple generations at this point with Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But I think the best thing that we can look at to inform us about the future of Mario Kart is the Mario Kart 8 track expansion booster course pack that was released over the last like year and a half, 2 years. This thing is going to be supported for the length of the Nintendo Switch 2 with additional characters, with additional courses. There's going to be so much to enjoy here. I think it's a really strong showing.
I could see them at like, you know, in 7-8 years adding another world even. Like,
Yep.
Very, very good shit. Go ahead, Maury.
I was just gonna say, do we want to talk about the price of Mario Kart World now, or do we want to save that for later? Do we want to talk about that $90 price point today?
Let's talk about it in just a second, because there's another thing that's going to have price. But Jordan really wants to talk.
It's so convoluted because it's not $90 in the US. If you go again, Walmart pre-orders, like it's $80 physical or digital in the US. The difference in pricing is other regions. And again, I don't know all the reasoning for that. But it is still obviously a chunk of change. That's not taking away from that discussion whatsoever. I just wanted to clarify that, like, from everything that I've been able to find, I've been digging all day. I have not been able to see anything in the US that has separate pricing for physical and digital. It's only in like Europe and other regions that I've been able to find that. Just something to notice, because obviously I think we do have some listeners. I know I have some friends in like Discord and other, groups of
got friends, people.
I got friends that are in other regions, and so it's definitely a conversation worth having, and we will have it.
Honestly, I'm surprised that they're not charging more for physical. It's more of a cost. Like, you have to ship it, you have to build it, you have to pay someone to fucking zip it up in the little plastic. I'm shocked that they don't
unpack their skin.
For the record,
we have Jake's point too. If you got the game and the expansion course pack, whatever, that's about $85 US. And so them to charge $80 just for it outright, and then probably add to it and just have it's comparable.
Yeah. What you got, John?
Sorry, Maury. Go ahead.
No, you're great. I was just gonna say we clip that, and if I see Mario Kart World at $90 on a fucking store shelf, we crucify Jordan on stream. I swear to fucking God.
On the cross.
You can open up and do your,
We also have another $90 thing coming from Nintendo, which is the Joy-Con 2. They showed us the new Joy-Cons. It's going to be magnetic. It has the mouse feature, which they showed a lot, which actually looks pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see how good it works. But something that I thought was really interesting, this came from a Q&A released by Nintendo. Kawamoto, who's one of the main architects of the Joy-Con or of the Switch 2, said that they had pitched a magnetic Joy-Con for the first Switch, but this was when Iwata was still alive and he was the president of the company. And in their test kit, the magnet wasn't strong enough, so it would easily pop off. And he was like, this is not a good enough product if you can easily take the Joy-Con off, so let's pivot. So this is something that we could have had last Switch, but they didn't put in like any more R&D into it. They just pivoted to the slide button that we end up having and knowing. But anybody other than the $90 feeling pretty absurd for a controller, any thoughts on the Joy-Con 2?
I feel like
it's two controllers if you really think about it, because you can.
Not wrong.
The Joy-Con ones launched for $80.
That's what I was about to say.
7.5 years ago. I mean, $10 more on the.
That's a very good point.
I feel like they've always been like expensive. Like all the extra stuff for my Switch, I only had like, course of my life here, I've had like already with the PS5, I have like 6 or 7 controllers. It's just on, and then they have just cool versions. But for my Switch, I only have 2 sets. I never bought any more. But I was about to say, like, they've always been pretty expensive. So just a $10 price jump isn't surprising.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was always pissed.
I was always pissed about the $80, to be clear. For
I was just
Joy-Cons.
about to say. I was,
yeah,
yeah.
especially.
I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, I am curious. Like Heroic Headgear in the chat also said, like, are we gonna have fun colors? Do we get that shown soon? Like, I'm curious what that looks like.
I can't afford them.
The option. That's also true. But I'm really happy with the overall design. I don't like the Joy-Cons on the original Switch. It does bother me. Like, and I like that they have I don't know the technical term for this. I'm so sorry. But like the raised up portion already on there instead of having to have the little little black like slide thing. So I'm happy about that. And I do like the colors that they chose to be like the ones that are already there and the way that it visually looks. And I'm curious about the mouse integration on some of the games. I think is going to be cool.
Yeah. Hell
I'm
yeah.
happy.
I wish there was a white version so it can match my other stuff.
Ooh,
They
I'll
will.
defend
that
it.
would be,
I
that'd be
know it's
sweet.
gonna be here, and then I'll have an OLED screen. And they'll get me again.
Just to keep you
I don't-
Sony ponies in check, DualSense controllers are $75, so it's not.
I was gonna say the other thing about this, like, not to beat a dead horse, I think that these controllers
Poor
are,
horse.
I know these are pretty like technologically sound devices, and there's kind of 2 of them, and I get that they make one, but the fact that you can use them separately means I'm assuming there's some sort of like cost associated with that they both have to have the wireless technology, and you can then hand that to a
That's
friend. And then
true.
you can clip it in and you can take it out, and it's got the mouse features and the extra stuff. Like, I don't think that this is absurd. I think that sometimes you hold a Switch Joy-Con in your hand, Switch 1 Joy-Con especially, and it feels a little dinky, and you're like, fucking $80. But realistically, I think that these are probably priced decently accurately.
We also got the Pro Controller 2, which has some back buttons
yeah.
on it that can be mapped to whatever you'd like, is what they make it sound
How
like.
much is it? $200.
$80
It's like
for the
80.
Pro Controller.
Okay, a lot less than I thought it would be. Then
Yeah.
okay,
Wow.
Cheaper
Okay.
than the-
never had one of those either. So
am so ready to plunk down on this. First of all, it's worth noting, and I'm not sure about compatibility from game to game or if it really does anything else. You can use your Switch 1 Pro controller with your Nintendo Switch 2. Confirmed.
And
oh
compatibility.
hell yeah, that's
And
my
Joy-Cons.
Yes,
mine.
and
Find that
Joy-Cons.
used
You can use your
somewhere.
old Joy-Cons. You can use all of the Nintendo Switch Online controllers. So I have like the Nintendo 64 USB-C Bluetooth one, as well as the Super Nintendo one, which is really cool. You'll be able to do that, of course, with the GameCube controller as well. Wouldn't work on the Nintendo Switch 1. But I think that I don't know. I just think that the actual Switch Pro controller is a very good investment because I'm still using my day one Nintendo Switch Pro controller that I got on, March 17th, 17 when the Switch 1 came out. And this thing is an absolute workhorse.
The
Best
Pro
wireless
Controller is
controller.
so good.
Best wireless
Okay.
controller I've ever owned.
You've sold
No
me.
stick drift, nothing. It's
I
unbelievable.
should have put you on that stage or in front of the
That's what
camera.
I'm saying. Nintendo, I can be bought.
Damn.
After
battery life. Oh, sorry, Patrick. Go ahead.
I'm moving on, so it could be quick about the Pro
Oh
Controller.
yeah. The battery life of the Pro Controller on the Switch will outlive the heat death of the universe. Next
Correct.
question.
They introduced the game chat, which is
Mhm.
finally Nintendo's version of chatting while playing games, and they're
Wow.
bringing some new things to it.
25.
So
20
weird.
years late.
They confirmed that the C button is the chat button. So that's going to bring up the game chat function. And with that can also be like video included. You can either share your game video at less than 10 frames a second, or there are certain games that'll have compatibility, like a Mario Party. Your camera can be like going around the map with your character, which that I think is pretty fun. I'll
It's
probably
cool.
use it 1.5 times in 10 years, but it's cool.
Content.
And then they also, with game chat, introduced that you can be sharing your screen while playing games together. I already said that, but I actually think this is later when they introduced sharing games with other people in your vicinity. I don't think that was part of game chat. So we'll get to that at some point. And then it's going to be free to use through March 2026. And from that point on, you got to have Nintendo Switch Online. I think between now and March 2026, they're going to do their fucking best to get everybody to subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online, so that all of these things that they're building into that cost are, you know, quote unquote free as part of it.
Yeah.
With this, they also Nintendo Switch camera, which is going to retail for $60, and the micro SD express cards. It's going to be in addition to the 250 gigabytes of native storage on the console, and it's not like any SD card can work. There's like a specific type of micro SD that you have to have, and it's not proprietary, but they're also going to be selling it themselves. So that's a thing. You know, we got to get new memory cards for them.
Not cheap either. They are not cheap.
I haven't looked. What are they going for?
So you're looking at, I think it was like 200 milligram or 200 milligrams, 200
Oh my God.
gigabytes.
In my
Yeah,
book.
brother. 200 megabytes, I think, or 200 gigabytes, I think, is currently like just shy of 100. Like a terabyte's like over $200 plus, and that's for like the cheapest brands on the market. Yeah.
How much storage do you guys need on your Switch, though? I feel
Honestly,
like
256 is probably going to get me pretty far,
me too.
Right.
Yeah.
depending on how big
Yeah.
the games are.
Also
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
But there's also a world where like Elden Ring is like a 113 gigabyte install. Like I don't know
Good
how
point.
much they're going to compress the shit out of that thing. So
I think
we
I saw
could end
something
up with some
where
pretty substantial things.
even
see.
Cyberpunk was like 64 or 65 gigabytes, which is kind of surprising.
Sure,
But
but I mean, that
someone-
is tough though. That's like a fourth of your storage for your console. That's tough.
Yeah.
and that's
Someone
how it
in
is.
my
It's having
chat-
a base PS5 for me. Like I have to delete crap all the time to fit.
Oh, that's-
something
that's-
else
I mean,
on there.
Who's playing all these massive games all at once? So I need to know who you are, because like
Right.
you
Yeah.
beat one game and
Patrick
delete it.
Schweiger.
Oh,
You're
okay.
Patrick Schweiger.
I
That
haven't
man
finished a
will
game in
run-
10 years.
He will run 4 to 5 to 15 like big AAA games at the same time.
I
once tried to
beat it
tackle
and
multiple
uninstalled.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Same time.
I had hair before I started downloading every game I could.
Wow.
On the lower half of my body specifically.
I was wondering where it
Right.
started.
Yeah.
Completely bald.
Once I
His
once I
kneecaps.
downloaded 3 different 100 gigabyte games, it just started falling out.
Wow.
But no,
No, I
I
wanna-
do like to have as many things downloaded as possible. I have 2 terabytes in my PlayStation 5 because I don't want to have to deal with it, and I still do. But now I can maybe play this game within the next 16 months instead of having to download it when I want to play it.
He's got space
Uh,
and he's hairless. It's
Exactly.
great.
You guys like
just for the
the
waist.
aesthetic
Rose is a
of
lucky
the
one.
Waist down.
stethoscope of the fucking weird camera?
I actually
almost
do
a
like
Play-
it.
I don't
It's
like
like a
it.
PlayStation Eye toy, like the way that it kind of curls around and then hangs out there.
Yeah.
I
I-
wish it under the camera. I wish it like kind of bowed out so it wouldn't get stuck in my ass. But you know,
Oh my god, you're taking all my sweet punchlines. All right, let's get some bets going right now. I'll search. I'll do my diligence. How long after the Switch 2 releases will I have to wait until I can see someone putting that camera inside of them?
7 days.
6 minutes.
I'm
It's
gonna
gotta be banned somewhere.
8 hours and 28 seconds.
2 days.
Mm.
All right.
2 days.
Okay.
It'll be within 48 hours.
A lot
I
of
think
launch
it- I hate it
day
here.
before launch.
I think the freakos over here, they don't have the type of money that is required to get a camera like that yet. I think they
Yeah.
need to put a little bit of a side. I'm saying
I got
13
$60
days.
bucks.
God
13
damn it.
I mean, if we all chip in and buy one camera and just share it.
Sisterhood
Go
of
to
the
the traveling
traveling
colonoscopy camera.
that's fair.
Because here's the thing: for science, I want to know what it can see when it's plugged in and up there. That's
Oh, cool, like a doctor.
Yeah.
Did they say the quality, the camera quality? Probably not. They probably
They
didn't.
Good.
They might have.
Anywho.
I don't remember.
It will have quality.
Yeah, it'll be there.
After this bit is when we got that fucking horseshit welcome tour that we're gonna have to pay
Fuck
for.
me, dude.
It's cute. It's
Here's
cute,
the thing:
but
it's
we
not
should
that
get-
it's not cute. I just can't believe they're gonna make us pay for it.
It's
I'm
fucking
mad.
outrageous.
Oh, man,
It's
I'm
greedy.
mad.
It's greedy as fuck. It's
That is
greedy
greedy.
as fuck.
That's greedy fuck
It's
face
insane.
right there.
This is, and maybe this is a good time to just get into a tad bit of the greed. Maybe that's what this is
Sure.
calling me to, right?
We've been talking about it.
I got more to say about this greedy shit. Look at this shit, bro. All this game, I mean, from what we saw, maybe it's an amazing
It could be
fucking,
more.
yeah, maybe it's an Astrobot level experience. I highly doubt it, right? if this is what the game is me figuring out how magnets fucking work and you're charging me money, I'm going to lose my fucking shit, brother. Before the Department of Education went away, I learned how magnets worked for fucking free. It was built into my tax dollars. Why the fuck am I paying to learn how a fucking magnet works? Anyway, I just feel like this is just such a terrible fucking decision. I feel like this is such a terrible like thing to do to fans. I love what Jake said at the top of the show, right? Nintendo is a business. They have to make money. This is where you want to make your money? You want to sit here and try to fight with me over paying $20 to learn how magnets work? You've got to be.
Is that the price?
I mean, it's got golfing too.
Do we
so-
know the price?
We don't know the price.
We don't
of
know.
this game
It could be.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It could be. I'm gonna be devil's advocate here. I'm just gonna, nobody's paying me, but maybe we live in a world where it's like $5 potentially. And
Maybe.
who
I
knows?
smile.
Still
I
too
smile.
much.
Probably not. But and I am intrigued. I think maybe it becomes something more. But and maybe maybe it's for the littles in our life that need to learn how to use it through a game. I'm really trying to sell
But
it. Here.
I feel like little kids wouldn't want to play this. It looks boring, even as an adult. It looks
Yeah.
like a boring museum.
Here's the thing.
I'd rather go to a real museum.
Amen. Amen.
I gotta say, and I'm not gonna say names, but there are people in the chat that keep trying to say that we're getting too heated about this and that we don't even know what it is. They showed us like 3 fucking minutes of this game. Of course we know what it is. Like we know that it's a fucking what do you fucking call it?
A tech
you
demo.
think control is?
Tech
High
demo.
School
I'll call
Weekly.
up Jeff
It's a tech
Keighley.
demo.
I'll
You
call
know
him
exactly
up. We
what this
have a
fucking thing is.
Oh,
Game
no.
of the year contender
no.
right here, Jeff Keighley. And
Dude.
who else in the chat wants to play and love this game? This tech demo.
I have to say this. It's fucking bad when Patrick starts speaking at the volume that me and Cayman speak out about corporate greed. That's how you know it's gone too fucking far.
It's so
That's how you
true.
know.
gross.
You speak at volume
It's
about
gross.
milkshakes, bro. It doesn't have to be
It's
corporate
gross.
greed about anything.
Again, even
That's a good point, Jordan.
even if it's
Good point.
$4.99.
Yeah.
that's fucking horseshit. And
That's
unless
horseshit.
this
Slap
game
to the
has
face
a
to
full
your fans.
adventure mode, if this game has like fucking achievements, this has to have so much more than just teaching me about the Switch 2 to charge money for it. I'm sorry, but that's fucking horseshit.
I agree.
I'm so sorry. Is this Rose on your account saying
It
can
is.
confirm? I hear him yelling from the living
is.
room. Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's a
Good.
slap in the face to your fans. Like, you don't launch a console often. We showed up. It just seems so shitty. I'll end it there. I won't talk about it anymore.
Pat,
It's
Someone
just-
said corporate greed, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I did. Come
Oh,
here.
sorry. Let me just chime in briefly. We're in an abusive relationship with Nintendo,
Yes,
and
we
we
are.
have been for 20 plus years.
correct.
That's not going to change.
Microsoft.
Oh,
No,
you say that? You say
no,
that?
it's different.
We fucking aren't, bud.
No.
This is
is
the
different.
level in which we give Nintendo grace.
Yes.
We will rail Sony every fucking episode of Spotlight Games because they're fucking dumb and they make
Mhm.
stupid decisions. Same with Microsoft. But when it comes to Nintendo, we give them free passes all the time because we love Mario.
Yes.
We
Then
can't
you-
play Mario anywhere else, but we don't bitch at Nintendo about it. We don't care if Nintendo charges us $90 for a set of fucking controllers because they're proprietary controllers specifically for Nintendo, and we love it. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not going to try to change anyone's opinion. But all I'll
No.
say is
Oh.
maybe we take a step back and realize that, like, maybe they don't like us very much. And they consistently prove that they don't like us very much every chance they get. We still don't have Wind Waker.
correct.
Listen,
What the fuck?
may I reiterate, Nintendo is not your fucking uncles, and nobody is forcing you to buy this game that you
That's
guys
true.
all seem so pissed off about. And maybe if it was packed in, the fucking price for these consoles would be $475 and $525, and we'd be shitting bricks about that too. I, for one, can't wait to shake my fucking. Ooh, that was a tough
Do
hand
it, do
motion.
it.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
don't know
live it
if
if you're gonna
I'll
live
be
it, right?
there.
That's okay.
we all have
Audio
free will.
listeners, you'll never guess the hand motion that I did.
Milk the
But-
cow.
I think it's going to be very good. I think it's going to be a fun little thing to stream. I don't think it'll be overly expensive. I think that there's a chance that they backtrack and it becomes free. I think there's a world where it's cheaper than we expect. I'm not worried about it. This thing is not
Really?
grinding my gears.
Really, the basis of my anger came from High School Weekly saying we don't know what the game is, and we fucking do.
To be clear, he also said if Nintendo sold a $100 brick that he would buy it.
Oh,
so-
of course. And he'll probably use it to bust my head open.
And,
like,
I understand. I understand where like,
Yeah.
and I get what Jake's saying. He's like, but I also just want to say, like, the fact that we're not even willing to push back against this speaks fucking volumes. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't need to push
How many
back,
times has
though.
Patrick bought the
I
Last of
get
Us
it.
Part
I
1
get
and 2 in the bundles and the
Well,
remasters and
Nintendo brings games that bring
Not
more
every
joy. And for that reason, I don't mind paying top dollar for them. Like I'll pay $80 for Mario Kart because it brings me $10 more enjoyment than Forza Horizon 5 does. Like
For
I
sure.
could use the fucking dust-free cloth that my fucking sunglasses came with, or I could use my $20 fucking Apple polishing cloth, and then it does like a 10 times better fucking job.
Right,
Like I don't mind paying up for nice things.
I get it, but $10 to learn how magnets work. You feel me? Like
We don't-
I'm
It's
not
not just
arguing.
Don't buy it. Just don't buy it.
Well, I
dude.
know.
Don't buy
I'm not saying I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
buy
it's
it.
not right. I agree with Maury.
It's
We'll
not
have to
right. I
do have a
also
whole
agree.
other show against with this, but like it's just
Yeah.
a slap in the face of fans. It truly
Bonus
It
is.
should
drop,
be free. It
corporate
should be
greed.
free, but it's not. So don't buy it. Like
But
that's as simple
I'm
as it
aware,
is.
And I'm
but
not.
the
I'm
answer
not gonna.
can't.
I'm
Go
not gonna
ahead,
buy
Jake.
it either.
Yeah.
So
The answer can't be like
Astrobot came with my PlayStation 5. That was pretty dope.
precisely.
Just saying, and it was fucking amazing. Now it's Game of the Year thanks to that freebie that came with my PS5.
Right.
All right.
Dude, yeah, the answer
Going
can't
around-
be don't like it, don't buy it. We're here to talk about like the industry at large. We got to figure out like where is the bullshit.
We're talking
Where
about
is
the
We're
it?
gonna
Switch
solve
2.
the
We're not talking
problem
about the
right here in
industry
this room.
Yeah, this is in the
Oh my
Switch 2
God.
showcase, Jordan. That's why
I
the fuck we're
cannot-
talking about it.
I can't wait till
I'm
you
gonna
guys
lose my
get the
shit.
second same
This is
energy
gonna-
for the PlayStation 6, dude.
Oh, yeah.
There's
I was
like
gonna
damn
be
it.
here.
Oh, it'll believe me. I will be screaming at
every
the top
single
of my lungs.
person
If
here is
Mario
like
Kart is $90
$3,000. $3,000
I'm about to
into
start
collector's
booting
editions.
Alrighty, let's move on, brothers.
Next thing, please.
Keep it
Please.
going.
All right.
Let's
We
keep it
also
trucking.
got the release date, which is June 5th,
Oh, yeah.
2025.
Woo!
Which fucking unbelievable that
Jake
Jake was a
Stradamus.
day off and didn't get it. What a fucking
Yeah,
loser.
I can't fucking believe that these idiots are releasing it on a goddamn Thursday. If it wasn't for World War II, which nobody even cares about. No, I'm just kidding. Absolute joke.
Holy shit.
World War II. I think that's D-Day. I'm pretty sure.
So the
Uh,
6th is Z-Day, yeah.
Yeah, so they're
Wow.
putting it out on the 5th probably to avoid that. So I get that, but I also sniped not only within 24 hours of the release the exact price for the retail price of the
You did.
console.
You
Good
did.
man.
Picture Donis.
Sniping
Good man.
also
Proof.
big in World War II.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sure.
Switch 1
And-
expanded editions. Yes, Jake.
No, better to move on.
Better to
move
move
on.
on. Switch 1 expanded editions. We got a good bit of information on this both during the showcase and after. So this is going to be a way to bring Switch 1 games to the Switch 2, and some of them will have additional content. So the ones that they highlighted, Super Mario Party Jean Beret is going to be getting an expanded edition on July 24th, which is going to have unique Switch 2 party games that make use of the Joy-Con 2 mouse, among other things. We're also getting Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom with a Zelda Notes app. And with that
was-
is going to come all sorts of goodies. We got achievements for those two games now, specifically within the Zelda Notes app.
Send me a
Um,
QR code for your penis monster, please.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Do you know what that? Know what I mean?
What?
No,
God, no,
I
I
don't.
My
'Cause, like,
penis
in the-
monster?
Yeah, and
Yes.
Tears of the Kingdom,
right.
you can
Oh,
share your
yeah, yeah,
intentions, and I just feel like it's just gonna be a lot of me doing that. Give me that thing with the wang. Thank you.
it's so good.
I
Been
was
the first
so
time
confused.
a lady has said that to me. Thank you, Jericho.
If you
welcome.
didn't make a fucking big tittied robot in Tears of the Kingdom at one point or another, I don't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
And now that I get to
Exactly
send that to
fair.
my friends and be like, download this, and they're like, what is it? I'm
That's
like,
what I want for every birthday going forward. One of those
Stop.
things.
This was
we-
a cool little thing. I thought it was
yeah,
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited. I hope that this Zelda Notes app is a success, so we see it in other versions. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the better version of the GTA 5 app back in 2013, where there's
Yeah.
like the map will be on there and those kinds of things. Like I
GTA
really GTA mentioned GG on the podcast. I really hope that we get to see more of that, and that I also wonder, like, could this work for other Zelda games potentially? I don't know. We also got Kirby and the Forgotten Land with new content. There's like a whole new section of the game that they're adding.
Yeah.
They showed off Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I think they said that you can use the mouse for the.
Yep.
Yeah, they said that. And then also, we're going to get 4K 60 FPS HDR or 1080 120 FPS, even in handheld, which, the fact that this console can do 120 frames a second is
Insane.
Immaculate.
Awesome.
And very excited that they're doing that. And I got to be honest, Jordan, I'm talking to you. This is the best Metroid Prime 4 Beyond has looked to me.
Agreed. Thought it looked better.
I don't think it looks incredible, but this was the first time I saw it and I was like, you know what? This doesn't look like shit to me. Respectfully.
Yeah, like I do think your opinion of it is just as valid as Cayman's and Maury's and everybody else's. What Maury thought was me dissociating earlier when Cayman brought up Borderlands 4 was actually just me being like, he can think that. That's fine. I don't care.
I respect
because
that.
I'm still playing Metroid Prime 4. Like, you know what I mean? But also, they just, again, I'm glad that they're doing this, but they just keep showing off this one like early game section. Like, as Jake brought up last week, I keep bringing up last week because just always listen to Dido, y'all. It's crazy good. I tell you. I mean, the series is just known for like all the varied biomes and all the wild creatures that come out and humongous boss fights and all this kind of stuff that can would be a lot cooler to showcase, but also probably spoil things for later game or whatever else. Also worth noting, not really, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm talking already. In the fine print, it actually said that was running at 4K 60, but not HDR.
Oh wow!
So that wasn't even with the HDR. So.
Yeah. If they show me that like jungle section one more time, I'm gonna Metro Prime 4 Beyond myself. But show me more of that game, please.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I'm pretty sure they said it. If not, then it's certainly implied that it's going to be part of one of these 7 hours of tree houses we have in the next 48 hours.
Cool.
So maybe we'll see a second type of hallway. Who knows?
To be clear, we're not live reacting to all 7 hours of the treehouse.
Absolutely not.
Correct. But if we can talk about the treehouse a little bit right now, if that's an okay place to interject, the Nintendo Treehouse Lives are something that have been around for a very long time now, and historically they can contain some really, really interesting information. And I get that we're coming off of a longer than usual Nintendo Direct. We saw a lot of some of these games, but I think there's going to be some pretty crazy stuff that pops up still over the next 2 days for details, not only on the Switch 2 console and launch, but especially on the games that are showcased. The one that comes to mind, I'm not sure if anybody has anything else, but they announced an entire game at the 2017 E3 Nintendo showcase. Cognitive Clips, you know what game that is? Mercury Steam developed it.
Is it Metroid Dread?
No, it's Metroid Samus Returns, which was their first effort. It's like the remake of Metroid 1 for the 3DS, where that game didn't even make their Nintendo Direct, but they announced it at the Treehouse. So I think there's going to be some interesting stuff there. Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah,
really good stuff.
I'm excited. I would have killed for like a release day here, but I'm sure we're going to get it at the Treehouse. I would have.
That's what I was wondering too. Like, I was wondering, do you think we get it at the Treehouse? Because I hope so.
No
way. Why would? My question is, why wouldn't you put it in the thing that 10 million people are going to see instead of the thing that maybe 500,000 people are going to see?
Yeah, I get it.
It's Nintendo. Baby.
I mean, sure, but
they do weird shit.
Abuse.
There's more places to see this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A few other Nintendo Switch upgrade games. Pokemon ZA, they just said it'll have enhanced visuals. They didn't go into detail on that. The retail for Switch 1, Nintendo Switch 2 edition games are going to be, it seems, $80. There's probably going to be some fluctuation there, but like if you go and buy Breath of the Wild at the store for Switch 2, it's going to be $80. That seems to be mostly across the board that I have seen. But they are going to be upgrades game by game in terms of if you have Breath of the Wild, that's going to be free as long as you have Nintendo Switch Online. They haven't given clarity on every single game, but they did release a list of games that are going to be free. ARMS, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Mario Odyssey, 3D World, and Bowser's Fury, Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Scarlet and Violet, and a few other smaller titles that I didn't recognize there.
I don't think that those are actually Switch 2 editions that you just listed. I think that those are games that are going to get patches and updates that will make them run better. Think about like when you stick an Xbox 360 game into your Xbox Series X type beat, because they don't have any additional functionality outside of like upscaling. The Nintendo Switch 2 editions, I think, ends with the Metroid Prime 4, Legend ZA,
Got it.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Mario
That makes
Party
sense.
Jamboree plus TV, and then the 2 Zelda games. I think it's just 6 of them right now.
Got it.
Yeah,
Cool.
Cool.
Cool. And then after that, we went into the first of 2 sections of Nintendo Switch partners, which is their third party folks. Any final thoughts on this section before we move on to the third party stuff?
We got one additional thing that came right before that, which is Drag X Drive.
Then no, that's here. This is the games from Nintendo partners. Dragon Drive was the first one shown.
I think Dragon Drive is a first-party game, no?
Is it?
I thought it was.
Oh, it might
I
be.
believe so.
Whatever
In
it was.
the
it was
little
rad.
breakdown that I pulled from, put it in the partners, but maybe they're wrong. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's
I
talk
think-
about Dragon Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that me? Was that my list that I gave you? Did I cook us?
Oh
No.
no.
Thank
you
God.
didn't
Okay. All right.
Maury's panic immediately.
Oh my God. Oh my
Well, I have
God.
one job.
I had one job.
2026.
By the way, in the words of Patrick Schweigert, if this goes on as long as it went during the fucking Nintendo Direct today, I'm gonna Metroid Prime 4 beyond myself. Fucking Christ.
I think you would say you're going to Dragon Drive yourself, just to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
the metaphor the same.
Sure.
But so you hate people in wheelchairs, Maury? Is that you hate?
I'm hearing.
Oh,
Yeah,
what I'm
I'm very
hearing.
ableist by nature.
Wow.
Soon be
yeah.
me, Maury. What do you think about that, bud?
Oh fuck! It's got so ugly so fast.
This is so fun, though. I'm really excited for this Rocket League game.
This is one for me that will like live or die by its price. Because
Yeah.
it being a 3v3 online game, if they don't get this is giving Knockout City to me. This is giving I think this looks cool. I think this looks fun. I just worry that this will be dead in 3 months.
Yeah.
Sure.
With it being
Yeah.
an online competitive, different type of sports game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
looks
think
It
this
was
will
cool that
have.
they were like showcasing like wheelchair basketball. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. It is
Even
confirmed
more
that is
doesn't make
a
stuff.
Absolutely.
developed and published by Nintendo game. No details on price. I don't even know if it's getting a physical copy. It does kind of scream like this is a $15 to $40 game in this day and age, or maybe that's a $50 game. I'm not really sure what that looks like, but I don't know. This seems a little bit like it is going to burn bright for a week or two. It'll be a fun novelty thing, and then I don't think that this has like staying power. This game, honestly, like there's some in poor taste jokes to make here. This game's going to be a lot like ARMS. I think where like it's got a little bit of a cult following. People will play it, but for the most part, people don't want to sit there and waggle their fucking arms all day long when they're playing Switch games.
Sure.
This is one of those things that's going to utilize the weird functionality, but won't have much more going on with it.
Sure.
I do think that it will, since it is going to be an online option, it will find its people, I think, that are really into it, kind of similar to like the people that are still stick around for like example Rocket League. I think it'll have its following. It looks fun to me. I definitely would try it. I think it would be fun to like squad up with friends, but I agree. I don't know that it's going to be like a lifelong, but that's kind of how I am with games like this anyway. Like the gameplay loop seems pretty straightforward and like repetitive. But it seems cool. I like that it exists.
I do really wish High School Weekly, I agree with in the chat, says the art style is so bland, unfortunately. I wish that they'd taken a swing here with like a very unique look.
Or like, colorful jerseys or something besides gray.
Yeah, right. It's just it's very gray. It's very like
that's true.
Tron adjacent type, like
good pull.
Somewhat futuristic, but still kind of looks fucking dumb.
Sure.
I think they were going for like being that it's a first party game and it is so Switch 2 centric. I think the aesthetic that they were going for was like to match the console, because most of the game is kind of like matte black, and then it has like kind of reddish and like bluish, tealish color for the opposing teams. I think that was kind of what they were going there for there. But I mean, if you look at the last couple tries at Nintendo IP, it doesn't feel very Nintendo, like from a visual aesthetic. And I think for a game like this, they would have gone a long way to have that arena, instead of being a black background, be more Splatoon or ARMS coded, or even themed around existing IP and stuff like that. Like if they Tetris 99ified this and every month there was a different arena that was themed on Mario and Kirby and things like that, I might be very interested.
Sure.
That might come. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
What has a
So good.
longer life cycle? My fantasy pick, rematch or Drag and Drive? Which one?
Rematch.
Probably rematch.
Rematch for sure.
Yeah.
I hope not, because I counterpicked it. Anyways.
Hey, that doesn't mean it's going to score well.
That's a good point. Good point. Good point.
Okay. After that, we got we can burn through probably a good chunk of these because we've also kind of touched on them already. We got Elden Ring coming to Switch 2. We got Hades 2. More info later this year. Street Fighter 6. Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion, which I think is a new game. I wasn't totally sure.
It's a
on whether that's
sequel,
new game,
but yes, yeah.
I've never
which
seen it. Yeah.
does mean new. Okay. Split Fiction, which we talked about. EA Sports FC and Madden. Hogwarts Legacy. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, which is a sequel and new. It's 2 sequels, in fact.
Listen, I didn't know if you meant it was a new IP or an.
Sure, no, that's fair. Hitman World of Assassination. They showed James Bond by IO Interactive.
Yeah.
Which, we only saw
Yeah.
the inside of the barrel of a gun that was computer generated, but
The music was cool.
That's something. First time we've seen that in a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have we
Yeah.
seen it before other than
Yeah.
just saying we have? Okay.
Well, just the Project 007. It still didn't even get a name, but that was announced at something 3 years ago, probably. IO's next game. I want to say it was a Game Awards or something like that.
James
Hitman
Bond,
creators
not
are
new.
working on James Bond.
James Bond, not a new IP.
Kind of a
Uh,
sequel, maybe not.
Bravely Default Flying Diary came in. We got that in this section.
Flying
We
Fairy.
also got Yakuza 0.
Flying Diary. I'm sorry.
Flying
Yeah,
Diary.
that was an autocorrect that I didn't catch.
Right. Right.
The diary is flying. And then
It's
also
just flying dairy.
Oh, those milkers! Come on, Hyrule Warriors: Age
Ooh.
of Imprisonment. We also got, which is a new game, right? That's
Yeah.
the
That
recent-
looks sick. Yes. I was a
yeah. Go ahead, Jordan.
big fan of Age of Calamity. I know some people were bothered by the lack of canonicity, whatever you call it. It was still a fun time. I don't care.
He doesn't
Can I
fucking care.
Spoil Age of Calamity, please. Anybody on the podcast care about me spoiling Age of Calamity that's on
I
here
would-
that can hear me?
I would
No
love for you to
fucks given.
spoil
Have
it.
fun, bud.
Speak now. All right, listeners, I will put my give me 30 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds
I
on the
will
clock.
time
Go
it
now.
starting right now. Age of Calamity is canon. It's completely canon. What they do, the way they shot themselves in the foot, is that they pitched it as canon, and they have this entire story that's actually pretty rad. But at the end, they do some time travel fuckery, and they say, "Wait, none of this stuff matters. It was just kind of a cool little side adventure. Everything proceed as normal," which is really a fucking cop out. I hate.
Okay,
the way
that's
they
fair.
handled
That's
Age of Calamity. I think that game is really, really shitty. The first Hyrule Warriors, very, very rad. But that's it. That's it for spoilers. We're good. 30 seconds up now.
30 seconds are up. Did you get a text, Maury?
Yeah, I did. From Patrick, from Batty Schwussy. I'm a big fucking bitch.
I saw you showing his phone. And I was like, "Ooh, are his notifications on? Can I?" But it was too small.
That's great. That's lovely.
I love you guys.
Okay, from here,
Uh,
we pivoted. We went to GameCube coming to Nintendo Switch Online, which I'll be the first to say I was wrong on multiple occasions.
Who was not
Several
wrong?
times. Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips, was not wrong on several
Which
occasions.
you acknowledged
wrong.
during the clip. Yeah.
I did. I'm a good man. I'm an oil man. Interesting that this game is, or that it's not coming to Switch 1 though, only Switch 2. Do we think that's a hardware thing? Like it's just the Switch 1 couldn't handle it, maybe?
Maybe so.
I think it's a hardware. I lean more toward this is their incentive to get people to come to Switch 2. One of the incentives is, hey, if you want to play the GameCube games with your existing subscription, you gotta pony up.
Gotta be able to play old games on a newer console.
You gotta come to
Hey,
the
I'm here for
Matt
it.
Black
But
Pony Club.
okay.
With that, so it's launching with Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX, and then later we're going to be getting Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem, Super Mario Strikers, some Pokemon. I didn't write the rest of Pokemon, but a Pokemon, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Coliseum.
It was like
What's crashing
Pokemon
out?
XD, Gale of Darkness. or
Listen.
something.
Yeah,
The 3 fucking game 1, 2, 3 combo for the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube roster is better than the PS5 launch fucking lineup.
this fucking guy. This
F-Zero
fucking
GX is
guy.
the best futuristic racer that's ever been created. Soul Calibur 2 is a pinnacle fighting game where you can be fucking Link. It's sick as hell. Boldo, Yoshimitsu.
I
and all your
don't
Soul Calibur
disagree.
classics.
No,
Actually.
I
And then
don't either.
Zelda
Isn't-
Wind Waker one of the best video games of all time?
It could have
Not this
just been Wind
version.
Waker.
Isn't
Yeah.
Soul
Oh, yeah,
Calibur 2
Jericho.
one
I'm
of the highest
mad.
rated games of all time? Am I
Yeah.
misremembering
I think
Yeah.
so.
I
Jericho has something
played
to say.
so much Soul Calibur 2. But yes, I am
So
also mad,
good.
Jerica. I give you the floor.
I don't understand why I can't play a game from the Wii U on my Switch or the fucking Switch 2. What the fuck? I'm not even asking for a
CD don't
remake
fit,
at this
girl.
point, but I have something to say. I think just because we're seeing it now, they know we're mad. I think a remake's coming. A remake's coming.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have
Uh,
saw this.
no.
We would have saw an HD version. I've been like, okay, that's not a good look. But just because it is just the GameCube version that's coming over, we're gonna get it. It's gonna be worth it. But I still
So
want to
a
play
remake,
it.
not
It's
a
so long.
port of the Wii U.
I think
remake.
it's gonna get a proper remake
Huh.
That's sick.
or
Mm.
sequel. Like it'd be a big thing for it.
Wow.
Mhm.
But man,
Okay.
I
I
am
don't
so
wanna-
bummed I can't finish it. Still can't finish it.
We could have maybe we should schedule like a podcast to theory craft what happened behind the scenes, because as far as like widespread industry rumors go, it seemed all but assured that we were about to get those Wind Waker and Twilight Princess ports. And this, I would say, pretty much certifies that we're not getting those. Like they wouldn't put this out. And I think it must have been some kind of business decision to shelve them to really incentivize Nintendo Switch Online and make that like a bigger value proposition. It is a very, very interesting thing. But yeah, I think it's a
I would
strange
love to
move.
pay $10. It's a damn good show. We can pay a $10 upgrade for the Wii U version. Yes, I wish. I'd give them $20. They're greedy. Please take my money. Why won't they take my money for things like this?
Do we
I-
think? Here's a question. Do we think? I think the answer is no, but I'm asking the question anyway. Do we think there is any world in which the like late game upgrades that they brought to the Wii U version, specifically with being able to sail faster and then also cleaning up that last Triforce quest? Do we think those are in this version or no?
No, this is a
I think
straightforward.
so.
I think no too.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emulator, whatever.
Yeah.
Something-
I'm very curious to see though, because like I don't know how much y'all have fucked with Nintendo Switch Online, specifically like this emulation. Sometimes it's fucking dog shit. Like sometimes
It's really bad.
the input lag like can
Mhm.
be noticeable to the eye, which is like low key unacceptable, kind of high key unacceptable. So if like Wind Waker has that kind of shit, then I will be very
Listen.
upset.
When's launch day again? June 2nd?
5th.
June
Fifth.
June 5th? I'm showing up at GameStop or whatever, and I'm buying a fucking Wii U. I don't need a Switch 2, and I'm going to
Wow.
finally beat Wind Waker. I only have like
Listen.
maybe a couple hours left in it.
Cool.
That's so
I can't
funny.
recommend buying a Wii U enough. And
I wish I wouldn't have traded. I traded it in for the Switch when it came out too.
Did you
I was like,
really? Wow.
yeah, I had the Zelda version. I bought it for that game.
I had that too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was so
That's it.
sweet.
So
I didn't
many
do the Wii U. I
times-
did the Wii, but not the Wii U actually.
I looked at the Zelda Special Edition Wii U
Don't fucking tell me.
5 dozen times, and I'm
Wow.
so.
How much is it?
Oh no! I mean,
Oh, I
like
was
back
like-
then, I almost bought it then,
I don't
so
wanna
many
know how
times,
much.
and now I wish I had because I'm sure they're at least like $700 now.
I hate my life.
Mm.
Can't play
High
it,
School
and I
Weekly said you can
sold it.
borrow his Wii U if you want.
Oh, can I borrow
I
that
think-
next?
You can get a Wii U like used on eBay for like a couple $100 tested. Yeah, I can't recommend this enough. Let's talk. Let's
It's
talk
probably
after the
smart.
show.
It's probably
We
a
get you
smart
taken
decision
care of.
offline.
after
Take it
what we've
offline.
seen today. You know.
Yeah,
I will
I
also
do-
say really quickly, Steam Deck owners, the Wii U emulation of Wind Waker HD from the it works really fucking. well.
Allegedly.
Okay.
It works for really.
I
well.
just-
I really consider that
Yeah.
as an option.
There's like you can use the back buttons to switch your display to be the Wii U gamepad. It's very good.
But
But
you
what
can't
were
play
you
it
gonna
on
say,
the funnest controller, the GameCube
Yeah, I'm okay.
controller.
I'll be
It's a
okay.
shame.
You're right. You know, it's sort of cool, but I
So-
just want to beat the game.
Jonathan?
Something that I'm baffled by. I mean, just completely baffled is nobody here brought up Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I mean, where's the
I was
hype
going
in
to
this
get
chat?
there. I was going to
I
get
don't
there.
even know what that is, but
I was going to get there.
you have the
Appears
floor.
you can't.
I
hit on
said
your
Fire
students on
Emblem.
that
I said
one.
Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem, Super Mario Strikers.
Super Mario Sunshine and
it was said.
Strikers.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that because I remember I always because I didn't have a GameCube growing up, but I always wanted to play Path of Radiance. And by the time that I was old enough and I was into Fire Emblem, I mean Path of Radiance was like $100 a copy, and I was like, I'm not spending that shit. So this will be like a day one thing for me when I get my Switch 2. I'll be booting up Path of Radiance. Can't
And
wait.
this is the
Yeah,
one where you
this
don't
is-
fuck kids. Is that right?
Yeah, specifically this one. All the other ones, yeah, Diddy, but
On the
like
table,
this one's
at the
cool.
very
This
least.
is chill.
I would like
Now,
to.
this is
Go ahead, Cook.
This is one of those times where it's Nintendo finally kind of coming in and doing something that's really smart for preservation and for all that, because like he was not joking. If you try to go and buy, even, I mean, as far back as like 10, 15 years ago, probably, like you try to buy a physical copy of Path of Radiance, it was going to be triple digits.
Yeah.
Because it was not only like well received and beloved, but also it was locked to the GameCube.
Yep.
And now they're actually bringing it to the Nintendo Switch 2 online, where, you know, if it has anywhere near the install base of the original Switch, it's going to see so many, like, you know, more eyes than it ever did on the GameCube. I started it on tablet. Sorry, little emu emulation, and it was really it was awesome. Like what I played with it was awesome, and I'm really excited to start it over and on the Switch 2.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, he betrayed
Any
Nintendo.
lactators in chat? I am loving life. This is the best day ever. We should.
Do you think that was an accident, Jacob?
Oh my god, it's too
I'm
good.
using the government names today.
Shout out to the mommy milkers. Let's see. GameCube controller will only be offered to those that pre-order via the My Nintendo store, and also
This is
it
the
will
first time I heard
cost $65.
Yeah,
Is
I
are
can.
those- yeah.
I have a $50 Nintendo 64 controller that is the best purchase that I've ever made. Every time I break that thing out to play a 64 game on Nintendo Switch Online, I feel like I've made the right call. It is so gratifying to take a Nintendo 64 controller out of the box and have it feel brand new and perfect just the way that you remembered it. The GameCube controller is going to be the same deal. Highly recommend.
I can't
Highly
find
recommend.
my N64 one for the life of me, and I'm starting to gaslight myself to like maybe I never bought it because I just can't fucking find it anywhere.
Damn,
Mhm.
that's dark.
Which sucks.
I do,
That'll
as
be
we
easier pill to swallow.
Yeah.
wrap up GameCube, I do want to officially announce the drop-in, drop-out Super Mario Strikers tournament that will be taking place with the day that that game drops. We stop everything that we're doing. We're calling out of work. Jake's not going in. All right, but I can't wait, and we'll have like bets on Twitch, and we'll see who will win. It'll be a blast. We'll make a whole to do about it because I am huge on that game. I know Kayla is really big on it, and I think a lot of other people will be down to participate too with Switch Online.
I'm so in. I hope that this one, I mean, they've already said they're really limiting who can buy it. I hope that this one doesn't have as bad of stock issues, because like Ryan in the chat was saying, he never got an N64 one because it was impossible to get for the longest time because it was just always sold out. I remember, unless I didn't buy it, when I did buy it, I finally got lucky on a Wario 64 tweet of like, oh, this one's actually live. Okay, moving back to the Nintendo partners bit. This is most of the rest of the showcase. Low-key, one of the biggest announcements of the Switch 2 Direct is Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 launching with the Switch 2. Chapters 1 and 2 already exist. Those are coming to the Switch 2, but then we're also getting the next 2 chapters of the 7 that are coming eventually. Borderlands 4 coming to Switch. Oh, what's up, Jake?
Let's just say that Deltarune isn't for your average gamer. It carries itself a little differently.
No.
Let's like, if you've ever been on the internet or have a certain sense of humor, I think you might like to check this one out. Undertale, kinda special, wouldn't you say?
Very good. Very good.
A wrap, folks. Cayman is in the camera.
I fucking hate you so much right now.
Coal Mines is going to Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 himself. All right. We also got Civ 7. This is when, if you guys were watching our stream, and anybody that was streaming the Nintendo of America YouTube version, this is when the stream died.
Yeah.
But it was during that like weird little kids.
Yeah.
thing.
So the next thing was Survival Kids, which is an adaptation of Lord of the Flies, but Fortnite style, I guess. I don't know.
Books mentioned.
Books mentioned. I can read sometimes. And then Star Seeker, I never grabbed the subtitle, but that was also in this section, as was Enter the Gungeon 2. Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming, and then we got 3.5 seconds of Hollow Knight Silk Song with the date of 2025.
Second best
crazy.
3.5 seconds of my life.
Yeah. The first three were your first kid or second kid? Which one?
Jesus fuck.
Tied. It's a tie.
I hope you're not
Okay,
watching this in the future.
I
Jake, are we
hope they
talking
are.
about Jordan's parental self? Because
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
make some jokes
No,
about that.
we're moving
We were
past it.
we were specifically talking about his ejaculation.
Well,
Please.
I'm very well versed in his ejaculate.
Yeah.
He was
Any
lactating.
ejaculators
It's a
in chat?
strong
Please.
seed.
Are we talking about lactation or ejaculation?
Yes.
We're talking about Silk Song, is what we're actually talking
Yeah.
about.
Ejaculate
Oh, okay. Making
She's
sense.
silk on my song. No, sorry.
till I ejaculate. Okay.
Right.
Oh god.
Finally, we got there. The punchline is actually just ejaculate.
Yep.
We've gone full circle. The joke is dead. Retire it.
No more joke. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. I know Kayla was
Yeah.
excited about that one.
Cozy,
Also,
cozy.
2 Point Museum.
Also excited about that. Oh.
Star Wars Outlaws, Fortnite, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, Human
Went
Fall
too
Flat
fast.
2. We'll circle back. Kunutsugami, Path of the Goddess, Goodnight Universe, Tamagotchi Plaza, Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, Shadow Labyrinth, Wild Heart S, Nobunaga's Ambition, Witchbrook, Rune Factory, Reanimal, Fast Fusion, No Sleep for Kaname Date, Arcade Archives, Ridge Racer 2. A whole bunch of shit. Any standouts from that group? Jordan, it sounds like you had at least one.
Star Wars Outlaws. I'm so hyped for that.
Yeah.
I was a lot higher on the game than most people seem to be last year. And
Will you get
got
it
the
again and
platinum
play it again?
everything.
Would you get it again and play it again?
I'm highly considering it, especially like I mean,
Wow.
to pick it up and take it anywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I had so much fun with that game, dude. Like, I love it. I love it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Very interested to see if the Switch 2 has the same or similar issues to the Switch 1 in terms of with third-party stuff. It seems like it won't with how many games are coming to it, but interested to see if that's the case with the Switch 2.
I would assume that. I'm sorry. What was your concern?
That thinking about Outlaws on the Switch 1, it wouldn't have worked because like Witcher 3 on the Switch 1 is like a total mess. So
Okay, gotcha.
I'm wondering if there's anything like that with Switch 2 or if it's good enough now that won't be a problem. Essentially,
Gotcha.
is what I'm.
I think that how it's been compared, just power wise, even leading up to this direct, was almost like a portable PlayStation 4 Pro, which, based on the specs that they gave us, is pretty accurate. So if you think about it as a PS4 Pro or even an Xbox Series S situation, then I would think that plus all the patches that they've already introduced to the main console versions of it, I think should be okay. But we'll see. I could be wrong.
We are putting a bow on the third party conversation. I would just like to sort of combat, I know that we were talking about some pacing issues here. The third party stuff seemed a little long winded, especially for us, but we live in a bit of a bubble being 7 pretty hardcore gamers. And there's a lot of people that are single console warriors, and they're maybe not as serious, if you will, as the PlayStation or Xbox gamers, but there's a fair amount of people that only have a Nintendo Switch and then maybe a low-end PC that they play Minecraft or Fortnite on. And as much as this is cool for them, I think that this was also a bit of a showing of power from Nintendo, because we talked about this on the prediction episode. The Switch 1 was not supported by the third party at all. They came out of the gate at all. They came out of the gate with very, very few games. There were weird issues with getting EA and Ubisoft to kind of buy in on that console right off the jump. But now the list of games, we are taking a lot of this stuff for granted. If you just, the way that Patrick just rattled off all of those games from the second half, if you add that to the rattling off of the games from that first half, it is a fucking who's who of third-party developers and just straight up titles. It's fucking insane. I think that this is a really impressive feat.
Yeah,
I think if you rewind 1 year, had half of these games come to the Switch 1, people would have lost their minds.
Yeah.
You know what
Sure.
I mean? But now we're just oh, of course it's gonna come. But sadly, it wasn't an of course until it was there. It's not.
But Ryan Selvey did have a good point though, but that did make their indie market thrive, which I do feel like we're missing a little bit in this direct. There was some indie games, but not a lot was shown off, at least here. Maybe we'll get that
Silk
later
Song,
on.
4.5 seconds. Where were you?
I am very interested to see, because I don't know. I feel like I hear what you're saying, Jake. I think there's some tentpole things here, but I feel like there's also some really big missing developers and publishers. Remedy or
Hmm.
other than Outlaws, like is Assassin's Creed Shadows coming here?
I was surprised not to see Shadows.
Like those kinds of things. I think there's a lot of bigger third party titles that I'm super interested to see if those come. But then you would think if Elden Ring can be here, even though Elden Ring famously kind of runs like shit, like, if that can be here though, then you would think that most third party games could, I guess, or Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Like that game is a fucking powerhouse of a game.
Sure,
Not as much as Rebirth, but so yeah,
I think
very interested to see.
Specifically, Ubisoft's lack of presence there is extremely interesting because it's one of two things. It's either A, Trouble in Paradise, all we have is Outlaws for you, no Assassin's Creed, we're busy fucking trying not to go out of business and get in bed with Tencent, or the other way is that Ubisoft is still the only third-party company ever to work on a fucking Mario game, and they've worked on 2 of them. So there could be things happening behind the scenes where Ubisoft's, Nintendo Switch division or whatever team that they would have working on porting these things is actually working on, a new game, whether that's a Mario and Rabbids game or something else that is like almost like a second-party developed first-party game.
Sure.
And I'll jump in on the third party conversation quickly because I was I was the biggest complainer. That was my big gripe from the show. I remember when I bought Wolfenstein Youngblood for my Nintendo Switch so that I could play with a buddy of mine who also owned a Nintendo Switch, and that was the most horrific gaming experience I've ever had in my entire fucking life, dude. Like I'm talking 15 frames a second. You can't play the fucking game. Everything feels like shit. So I want to say I'm happy to see like a third party presence at this showcase. I think I still wish that it would have been handled differently. I wish that it would have been shorter, but I do agree with Jake's point. And that's that, hey, this didn't exist a generation ago. Making sure that the people who aren't like the 7 of us know that you can play a Ubisoft fucking game on this console is super important. And I think I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, I think too, just to, I guess, put a bow on that, we talk about wanting to hold a corporation accountable, with the different charges that they're doing. This is that in its own lane, right? It's, this is what you delivered today was a product to try to sell your product. And so, yeah, of course we're going to have criticisms for what you did and how we would do it differently and things like that. So
of course,
I think
that's also why we're here, is to literally talk about all of it. So
drop in dropoutpod.com. Last few things from the showcase, and then I have some other things to wrap up the show with, other questions about the direct. But before we get there, Maury finished this morning when The Dusk Bloods was announced. This is a PvPvE title with multiplayer at its core, the press release states. 8 players, quote, vie for supremacy among themselves and against challenging foes. According to a description of the game, players will play as the Bloodsworn. Sounds a lot like Bloodborne, which is a group that has transcended human strength thanks to their special blood. Ooh, you got special blood. Maury, what do you think about PvPvE for this game?
I think it makes sense. A staple in FromSoft games has always been the PvP element. The 8 players I didn't hear about until this very moment. That's fucking crazy. But some of my favorite experiences from FromSoft games are when you invade or get invaded, the chaos that causes. I mean, you're trying to go fight that boss. You just got all your levels. Maybe you're carrying around a bunch of runes or souls, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to go level up at the most nearest bonfire. Nope. You just got invaded, and you're going to lose all 150,000 souls. Figure it the fuck out. So I love the PvP element. And then because there's a PvE element, you're still going to get your bosses. You're still going to get all that. But I'm curious to see how the 8 players works. Because right now, I guess the biggest dive that FromSoft has taken in Soulsborne games with multiplayer is Elden Ring Night Reign, which is only 3 people at a time. You know what I mean? The idea of 8 people running around a map, hunting each other down, whatever that looks like, fucking awesome. And again, for the final time, this is just Bloodborne 2 with a different name. I love that Nintendo paid FromSoftware enough money to make Bloodborne 2 on their console. I couldn't be happier about it. Oh my god.
And Miyazaki directing, which is cool. What were you gonna say, Jordan?
Have you seen people are using that? I think is it From Heroes, that meme where it's like, oh, it's Godzilla actually it's not because of trademark, but you should still run like it's Godzilla, even though it's not.
dude.
Like,
yeah,
they
dude.
did this for this. Like, look, it's Bloodborne 2, but it's not. But it looks like it, but it's not.
Yeah, no,
It
that's,
looks
that's
great.
what it is.
It looks good.
I thought it was. I thought this was Bloodborne because I've only played like 2 hours of it ever in my life. So I was like, oh wait, is this actually Bloodborne? I was like, oh.
This is one of the most confusing trailers I've ever seen. Like it was so difficult to track what the fuck was happening and like what it was, whether it was multiplayer, whether it was Bloodborne, whether it was Castlevania, like it was all over the place, but like in a fun way.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this pans out. Because yeah, I mean historically, this is one of those games where it's like, oh, it's on the Switch, dead game. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So I'm excited to see.
Chat.
We're evolving.
You can have voice
Evolving.
chat.
And also good on From for constantly evolving.
Yes,
like
dude.
Yeah.
them and Remedy, I feel like are the two developers right now to me that even though I don't really like From Software games because I suck at these kinds of games, they're always trying to reinvent what.
Oh,
Did
Whoa,
we lose him?
If
They're always
this game
trying to-
finds an audience.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh,
okay.
We
something.
lost your last couple sentences there, Patrick. Hit it
Yeah.
again.
It was all lies.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Damn. Something
Scrubbed,
else.
immediately scrubbed.
Yeah.
Something else that I want to say is that I think that from an industry point of view, I think that when you look at this part of the showcase, I think this is the single strongest part of today because it's awesome that you see Donkey Kong 3D, a Donkey Kong 3D game again, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. It's awesome that you're showing off Metroid Prime 4. It's awesome that you're showing off third party, but this to me sets such a precedent. You got From Software to make an exclusive game on your console and it looks this fucking good. Like, I don't know. It feels like a certain level of maturity that I'm feeling from Nintendo that I haven't gotten before. When I go to my Nintendo Switch, I go to play the rated E for everybody game that's super fun and it's super cartoony and whatever. I don't know. That's me. This is not that. This is going to make me take the Nintendo Switch 2 so much more seriously as a console. The idea that we're going to look at a list of exclusives one day when talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 exclusives list and a From Software game is going to be on there is so fucking nuts to me. So I think this was the strongest showing of the day. I really do. I don't think anything passed it.
Something deep inside me says that this won't stay exclusive to Switch.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
a tough call, but I think that Nintendo shelled out enough money to make it exclusive to Switch. I
Yeah.
think that was their entire thing. Like this one,
got a few
we
bucks laying
need to
around.
secure this
That's
fucking
true.
fandom because this is arguably the hottest developer in the world right now. Like
Yeah.
worldwide, this is absolutely insane. 2026
For
available
3 years
only on
straight.
Nintendo Switch.
I mean, they
is
do
the-
follow it wherever it'll go. Like, if this was exclusive on the fucking Ouya, the Ouya would be the best-selling console
Yes.
of May. Like,
for sure. Ouya mentioned.
Yeah.
Ouya.
That's incredible.
After that, we got Kirby Air Riders from Sakurai, the creator of Smash, which is exciting. He had teased that he was working on a new game a few years ago, and this seems to be the game. I am not a knower. Kirby has just never been a franchise that's spoken to me, mostly because I'm afraid of what that mouth do. But so this game, I didn't know it existed, even though I had a GameCube and played all sorts of GameCube games. So is this a racing game?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Star
It's so
Kart.
sick.
Lots of
It's
people
the-
excited in the chat for it, and just general online. Like I've seen a lot of people, and I actually didn't play this either. I do love Kirby. This one missed me, I guess, because I was busy playing the hell out of Super Mario Strikers. Yep, exactly. Mentioned. How many times can I say it? Take a shot every time. But yeah, it looks great. I think visually it looks stunning. I'll play it. I really will, and I'm really happy for all the people that get to have it.
Is it not weird that they announced 2 racers from Nintendo? Is that
It
not
is
weird?
It's weird. Yeah. Dan Goodshow in the chat says, I like the original, but it seems weird to announce this alongside Mario Kart, which I agree. Two
Yeah,
of
that's
their
true.
4 or 5 first party games that are coming out in the launch window or in the first year of this console's existence are basically racing games. And this is kind of what happened to the original Kirby's Air Ride, is that it lived in the shadow of some other maybe superior racing games, depending on how you look at it. One of them being F-Zero GX, which is coming to Nintendo Switch Online. The other one being Mario Kart Double Dash. So, the GameCube had no shortage of good racers. But if you take the time to play Kirby's Air Ride, which I highly recommend everybody do, maybe they'll put it on the, I don't know. I think that cannibalizes sales if you can put Kirby's Air Ride on the GameCube
no
and
way.
put the sequel
Yeah.
you're on.
Yeah.
But I can't recommend it enough. Maybe that's a good one that we should have like a Dido stream or something like that ahead of the release of Kirby's Air Riders, because Kirby's Air Ride is good and it's unique enough that it separates itself from like the mechanics of just like a Mario Kart game. It's not just like go fast. There's like a whole momentum based thing, and there's some
I
really
guess-
cool tracks. It's a cool game.
I guess I could see there being a space for both because Mario Kart World is such a different Mario Kart, with it being open world and driving all around and that kind of thing. So, and if this is just pick a few races to do with your group of friends, whatever, then maybe,
Yeah, I can
That's
see
what I
it
was
going
gonna
a couple
get
different ways. This could be a game that is a little cheaper than full retail price, and then I could also see this being one of the games that if they have to have something slip into 2026 first party wise,
Oh,
maybe this
sure.
is the one that
Slipping
goes.
mentioned.
Very good.
I'm gonna edit him into your hands later.
Okay,
Okay.
hold on.
Yeah.
Let me chime in for a second. I
Mm.
feel like on my side that them announcing this particular Kirby game was the biggest indicator that we're not going to get Legend of Zelda, guys. They showed us Legend of Zelda in the GameCube, and they're like, that's where you're going to get it. And then they show us an obscure, I would say obscure, GameCube game. That, sure, there's probably a rabid fan base, but the fan base that wanted that game compared to the fan base that wants Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, drastically different.
I
Like
wonder.
the size difference.
Yeah, I
I wonder-
wonder if like give it
Yeah.
3 years now instead. Give space for Wii U version.
Hold
Of, I don't know.
space.
What do you think, Jericho?
I don't know. Like, I wonder if this was a project they didn't really anticipate where it was gonna fall. Because like I'm with y'all. Like I think it's gonna get hurt by Mario Kart just being around for the next couple of years. So like I wonder if this was something that was working. Like I don't know. I wonder if this was thought out of when this game would actually come out. Maybe it was a passion project for him, and I don't know. It's sort of weird where it fits, and yeah, I don't know. I think maybe this was just something he wanted to work on.
Yeah,
It's
That's where
a
it makes
very very interesting thing, and Sakurai is kind of enigmatic in the way that he exists in Nintendo, because this is a first party game, and it's Sora Limited, which is Sakurai's development company. And he's the one, obviously, this is the person that brings us Smash Brothers, but he's had a couple other games. He started off with Kirby, and Kirby's Air Ride was one of his like biggest early games that he developed as he started to like work into like Brawl and kind of make Smash Brothers what it is today, where it's that collaborative game with all the guest stars and stuff like that. And Sakurai, being who he is and kind of being like almost second party, has a very weird amount of agency available to him because he's not under the Nintendo umbrella. He doesn't have to be as like secretive of, obviously he's working with their IP and he has to a certain extent, but Sakurai has made it abundantly clear that working on Smash Brothers is like a fucking nightmare to him. He loves it.
Yeah.
It's his life's work, but it is very stressful. There is a lot of stuff that goes on, especially as it became more of a collaborative series where he was the individual that was like individually brokering these deals to get like Cloud into Smash Brothers, to get Snake into Smash Brothers. It has been tough for him, and it seems like Nintendo has operated in this way where it's kind of like a one for you, one for me type deal. Like, hey, if you let us make the Smash Brothers, we'll put out Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS. And I think this might be one for Sakurai. He's very passionate about Kirby Air Ride, and I think if there's a fucking chance that we get him to reboot Smash one more time before he says I don't want to make games anymore, I think Kirby's Air Ride comes out now, and then they get him on the hook for that next Smash. So
I could also see them just bringing Smash Ultimate for $10 or whatever. Add in a
Dude.
couple more maps, a couple more shadows, or whatever you call them, spirits.
Fucking add Waluigi.
Yeah.
Where the fuck
add
is
Waluigi, get us another character pass. I thought that was a shoo-in for today. I thought for sure we would get Smash Brothers Ultimate or something like that. But
Ultimate
also shout out,
Ultimate
this
is
guy's
crazy.
got a fucking YouTube channel that is the craziest thing. If you have any interest in
It's
game
so
development,
funny.
it's unfucking real. It is
Also,
unreal.
yeah, one of my favorite things that's ever happened in gaming was when there was the reveal that the last like 3 years of his videos were pre-recorded. And,
Yes.
and it was like it's like, oh yeah, no, I haven't done a video in like 3 years, and this is what I've actually been doing. Is so
Yeah,
funny
it's
to me.
fucking Kirby's Air Ride.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, and then we
Cool.
finished the show with Donkey Kong Bonanza coming July 17th. Crash, bash, and climb through nearly everything in Donkey Kong's path and tear off chunks of terrain to swing around and throw in groundbreaking exploration. The more that is demolished with powerful punches, the more areas open up to discover. Break on through this adventure full of mayhem, surprises, and bananas when Donkey Kong Bananza crashes onto Nintendo Switch 2, July 17. I was so sure this was a Mario game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Yeah. It looks so good. I'm
It does.
hot. I'm ready to go. I'm
Red
HOT to go.
Yeah.
HOT
to
Why'd
go.
you stop spelling?
You don't need to spell it all for
Wrong
Donkey Kong.
bit.
We can't do math. We can't spell, but we
Yeah.
can play video games, people.
That's
We
exactly.
can.
Even though I thought his tie was his junk, I think they did that on purpose.
Damn.
In the shadow,
Oh,
looks like it's just like swinging, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like I'm
I'm
here,
excited.
bitches.
It still can be.
we
What
need
that
to
tie
get
do?
Patrick. Patrick will actually be streaming this on launch day, shirtless, wearing just
Just the tie.
suspenders and the tie.
Woo!
Oh yeah, that's
That is a pea schwussy guarantee.
Can't wait
I
to
can't
see the
follow.
lack of hair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Hear
remember
this
that's just
Donkey Kong mentioned.
waist down. That's just waist down. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. I think it looks like such a blast. I know Donkey Kong 64 has a really big fan base. That one never really worked for me. I just liked that the cart was yellow. So I'm excited for that to come to a new generation. And this seems to be the Odyssey team. I don't know that we have confirmation on that, but so yeah, this looks like such a blast. I can't wait to see all of the different things they introduce through like the breaking through the ground and finding new areas within the earth of Ingot Isle. Super interested to see. Maybe we find this out in the treehouse. Are there more worlds, or are we just in this one place? I don't know, but easy day one for me. But I have a question. Do we think this game means we don't get 3D Mario for a minute?
I think it
Probably
depends.
because if we already have Mario Kart and then a 3D Donkey Kong, and within like a month and a half of the release, then like they may wait until next year for a 3D Mario. I don't know.
You think next year is an option?
Yeah,
Potentially, yeah.
I think so,
Potentially.
Yeah.
for sure.
They definitely
Just
would have had it
don't know.
within the first couple years.
I don't know internally what team would be working on it. I think that this part of me thinks that maybe that exists. Could they be working on those games alongside each other? I look at this, and Nintendo is so weird and agey about like ever since like SPD rolled into like I think it's EPD now or whatever. They did the restructuring in like 2015 or 16 and put all of these things together and just basically started calling it fucking Nintendo. And now E80, thanks for High Score Weekly. And now we have this weird situation where we don't even find out like who directed these video games
Right.
until the games come out, and they like it's honestly most of the time through leaked credits. Somebody beats the
Yeah.
game, watches the credits, and then they report in. They go, "Oh, by the way, the director of this Mario RPG remake is blah blah blah." It's absolutely insane. But I look at this and I see Mario Odyssey DNA throughout the entire thing. And if that is the case and it's built off the back of that, maybe if we're using the same engine, they're pretty fluent in it, and they could be working on Mario behind the scenes in addition to this. And it could be a faster turnaround, because if this team has spent the last 8 years essentially working on this one game, it's a long development cycle for a 3D platformer in Nintendo. That would be like one of
Or
the longest that's
yeah,
ever existed.
maybe they've been working on them simultaneously the whole time.
Simultaneously
potentially.
is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
We did have
That's-
several
that's the
people in the
question.
chat actually say that they're predicting 2027 for
I
3D
could see
Mario.
that being the case.
Yeah.
And some people say that they kind of wanted it spaced out and like room to breathe.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. I don't have a strong opinion either way. I definitely think we see it coming. I would say probably sooner than 2027. That's just my opinion. But I do think it makes sense to let some of the game, especially with the evolutions being made to Mario Kart World. I think that they'll probably let that have its moment, probably. But we'll see. Who knows? Somebody mentioned earlier about it being strange to have a holiday with no titles. So maybe that comes holiday. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
I'm shaking in my boots a little bit with Fantasy Critic.
Listen, September of 2026 would make it 3 years since Mario Wonder. I could expect a fast turnaround on a sequel to that. Maybe Mario Wonder 2 is like a holiday release next year to hold us
Two
over. 'cause they're
Mario,
gonna get
two
a lot-
Wonder.
God.
Perfect title.
R.I.P.
Good
A
job.
bisexual journey, just like
Yes.
Too Fast, Too Furious is.
Correct.
Yes.
Go watch that YouTube video if you haven't, by the way.
Have you seen
Okay.
the way Toad looks at Mario? I mean, it's there, man. It's there.
Okay. Toad's
Um,
non-binary
wow.
for sure, though.
Yeah.
oh, for sure.
Mhm.
Non-binary.
Okay, that brings us to the end of the direct. So, a
Wow.
few questions that I have to go around the table about things missing. We've discussed a few of them, like Mario, 3D Mario as one, but some other things that I noticed as missing that there had been various rumors on, or were they rumors, or did someone just say it once on a podcast and then it became a rumor? Who's to say? But nothing PlayStation, nothing Xbox, nothing Animal Crossing, nothing Mario 3D, which we just talked about, nothing Kid Icarus, nothing Pikmin, Smash, and then no achievement system, which is something that a lot of people had been expecting, other than specifically those 2 Zelda games via the Zelda Notes the Zelda Notes portion of the Nintendo Switch app, which is fucking dumb. Any standouts there for folks of like surprised that something's missing? Do we think we see something of that list soon?
Yeah, I'll jump in. No, go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
No, go. I'm shaking, trying to think of something.
The only thing, and I mean, to say like that it's missing is stupid because Jake, you so adequately explained that Sakurai is like doing one for him. He's doing Kirby Air Riders. But like I totally thought that we were gonna see Smash. And I don't know, like how much further can Smash go? That's what I like always try to ask myself. Ultimate has so much shit in it, dude. It has so many maps, it has so many characters. Like, how much more can you expand it? Like, what is the next one? You put Master Chief in there? Like what else can you do with it? Like they've done so much with Ultimate, but I still like wanted to see some iteration on that. I wanted to see a new Smash game because for me, that's just been like so integral to like my upbringing. Smash is the first Nintendo game I ever fell in love with. It was Brawl. I know a lot of people were Melee, but for me, it was Brawl. And like I would have killed to have seen something today from that. I'm not like crushed or anything. And then I said earlier the 3D Mario game, but then I started thinking when you guys were talking, like, holy shit, that's totally the 3D Mario team, Odyssey, that's doing the Donkey Kong Bananza game. So it's like, of course they're busy. So it's like, are things missing? No, I think maybe it's just like a misdirection of my own, thinking that they were going to do one thing when actually Sakurai's doing Kirby Air Riders. Actually, the Odyssey team is doing Donkey Kong. So maybe there's nothing actually missing, but it feels like something's missing. I don't know. know. Yeah.
That makes so much sense, more because like I feel like there's plenty of stuff for like PlayStation IP, for example, that they have like so many like tentpole franchises with like Last of Us and God of War and like Spider-Man and all these things. But like when it comes to Nintendo, they've been around for so long that they have like, I mean, it's just so many franchises that are like, oh, it's got to have this, it's got to have this, and so like I think you're right where it seems like we didn't see much. Then you actually look back and like see, Patrick rattle off the list. You're like, oh wait, no, we actually saw we got a lot. We got a lot of stuff coming this year, and it's pretty incredible. So I mean, for me, I don't see as much that I was like dying to see that wasn't there, or that I don't expect to see in the near future. Like it would have been cool to see whatever Fire Emblem like not port on the GameCube, NSO, whatever they're working on there would have been cool to see. But again, I mean, it's not a bit. I've said it a million times. Like, this is what I want this year, and I'm finally getting it. Just give it to me.
Yeah, just give it
to me. Ryan Selby had a good point that remember that GameCube launched without Sunshine, but you associate Sunshine with GameCube. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, 3D Mario's, Jake.
Like
tell him.
Yeah,
tell him, Jake.
Definitely. I mean, there's Luigi's Mansion launched, which is nice on that one, and we have Mario Kart here, which is pretty cool. But I think Mario, like, there was a cool like thought, we talked about this on the show about how like Nintendo hasn't launched a console with a 3D Mario game since Mario 64, the first ever 3D Mario game, and I think that does feel a little tough. And I was the first person that was like, I think we're getting logos for everything. I think they want to show us how much stuff, like, this is the home for Animal Crossing, this is the home for like this, that, and the other thing. But I think it's important to remember that there is also Tamagotchi Life on its way out. There is also Rhythm Heaven, which is obviously going to come, and I think that might impact probably what like Nogami is working on. Hisashi Nogami, who's quietly like the best director that they have in a post Shigeru Miyamoto world. He is responsible for the Splatoon series and the modern Animal Crossing series, which are quietly like two of the best selling games in the last fucking decade, basically, as far as franchises go. So my guess is that he's probably working on like, let's get Splatoon onto Switch 2 because it's their competitive multiplayer shooter, and it always does very well internationally. It doesn't have the biggest crowd in America, but it's a very, very popular franchise at this point. And I think that they would probably give some breathing room to Animal Crossing even further because two things about Animal Crossing. One, I think the last Animal Crossing that came out was lightning in a bottle. It at the right time. I think that we've peaked on what Animal Crossing has to offer, unless they do something fucking insane and do like Animal Crossing on the moon or
Well, so here's
Big
a question.
cities.
And
Ooh,
so anybody feel free to save that for a different show because this might be a bigger conversation. But I look at Mario Kart World, I look at Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it feels like those two games specifically are kind of taking the thing to the kind of metaphorical next level with the Switch 2. I wonder if that could be like the thing with Switch 2 with the Nintendo first party franchises. So like, is the next Animal Crossing New Horizon such a big step up, which is why they need time? Maybe they're introducing, I don't fucking know what it would be, but
can we turn the camera? That would be a big deal.
Sure.
I would love to do that.
But
he's on to something, folks.
It's that easy, folks.
Let him cook.
But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if that's also part of this with some of these franchises that we're not seeing, is that they need more time to take it more than just a sequel step further, but take it a whole generation further. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
take
it's
it
a really
offline.
good guess.
I think I think that's entirely possible, but it's tough because the first thing I think of is like, oh, maybe they're just taking their time with Animal Crossing because it would cannibalize Tomodachi Life, which is a very similar video game, all things considered. It's significantly weirder. There's different things happening, but for the most part, it's like a life sim type of thing. But then you also have the idea of like, okay, well then why the fuck are we putting out Kirby's Air Ride in Mario Kart? But again, that might be the Sakurai asterisk there. There's a lot of different parts that go into it. But yeah, I mean, I think a different podcast is what's missing for the Nintendo Switch 2. Like we could, it sounds fucking dumb because like if you look at drop in, drop out or spotlight games over the past like 2 weeks, it's like just like Nintendo because they've been doing that. But now that we know what's here immediately, I almost do want to sometime in the next couple of months be like, let's try to guess what the next 5 years of Nintendo looks like now that we have an idea of what the immediate future looks like.
I love it. I love it. What a great way to end this conversation of the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. What a great event for the most part. It had its missing moments, but ultimately around the horn, we seem to be mostly satisfied. I do want to plug tomorrow night here on Drop In, Drop Out Pod on Twitch. We're going to be playing a little party game. Most of us will be here. We're going to be doing a little like Pictionary style game, and there's stakes on the line, folks.
Ooh,
All of those games that were announced today, whoever wins this game that we're playing tomorrow gets first dibs on a game from today's Switch 2 Direct, which is really bad for me. I got to win to make up for the 3D Mario thing. But that's going to be around probably 8 tomorrow night. Keep an eye on socials and in the Discord for that. dropindropoutpod.com for ways to find all of us in different places. Monday, Clickerbait. Tuesday, Spotlight Games. Wednesday, sometimes a Spotlight Game stream, or fill in Jake Twitchin any day of the week as well. Thursday, Drop In, Drop Out Pod. Friday, probably Jake Twitchin. Saturday, we normally have a Dido stream, and Sunday, the Dumpster Boy with his affiliate stream. We're not going to go around and plug everything for everybody, but I do want to throw it to you, Cayman, real fast. Tell the folks what they can expect on Sunday.
Sexy nuns. Also, I'm one of the sexy nuns this time. So if you want to see me as a sexy nun, and that's an objective term, tune in Sunday. We're gonna play Nun Holy, the sexy nun roguelike game that's very much, probably some people said, better than Hades 2.
Oh yeah.
Some people said it's better than Hades 2.
Some people have.
And do you come to the Church of the Dumpster with me on Sunday? I think it's the start of Lent. We're going to just
Lent's already started, bro.
I think it's the start of Lent.
It's probably the start of Lent. Either way, we're probably gonna do some bad things on stream. Maybe we'll get banned. Maybe Patrick will finally kick me off the show. We'll see.
He's
Who
gonna
knows?
celebrate
affiliate
affiliate
stream.
by getting banned from Twitch.
Baboom.
Oh yeah, the name is called the Sexy Nun Sexy Sub a thon.
Oh,
Ooh.
whoa!
I love it.
Sounds like we might get saved by
Maybe.
I
Jesus
will
Christ
hold
himself.
live baptisms on air if you come to my house.
Live baptisms on here is so great.
I'll be the first to show up.
It's going to
It's
be
not
some
that far
sort
of a drive from some of you. Just saying.
some sort of a holy liquid is what you're going to be dunking us in. We are getting some call outs from the chat. They want to know where they can follow us on social. So let's go around the horn. Let's just, we'll be fast. But Jake, where can they find you?
AmazingStreamer.com for all your Jake Twitch needs.
Boom. Dumpster Boy.
You can follow me at the Dumpster Boy literally everywhere now. I'm everywhere, even on YouTube.
Kayla.
You can follow me at Palace and Pages on all socials, but also JK Games Podcast on all socials, Monday Night Live.
Jericho.
You can find me at Jerkachew everywhere.
Boom.
Yes.
Cognitive Clips.
Cognitive Clips everywhere. If it's on YouTube, then cognitive-clips.
And
Hey.
Maury.
You can find me at Spotlight Games Pod on Tuesday nights, doing my residency there. It's a good time. And you can find me at GWT Maury everywhere else.
Boom. I'm P. Schwissy, and as I said at the top of the show, we are dropping a Dropout Pod on all socials. And there might be one that we're not, but if you search it, you'll find it. Dropoutpod.com. Again, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will be back tomorrow for our Pictionary stream, whatever we're going to call it. Until next time, have a great evening. Bye-bye.